This is Sky Sports 2.
Going live.
3,
Stand by.
2,
Activate.
1.
All systems go.
We're live.
The Northeast is traditionally a hotbed of sport, but there's nothing hot about the Newcastle Cobras at the moment. The sporting club's Icemen are rock bottom in the Super League. Their last league win was against Basingstoke 2 weeks ago. Their new boss Dale Lambert will be looking to pull off 2 points against Bracknell and give their fans something to shout about. It's not going to be an easy game for Newcastle. The Bracknell Bees are riding high after a great 4-1 Super League win over the Cardiff Devils a week ago. Newcastle against Bracknell were live and exclusive on Sky Sports 2. Well, to add insult to injury, the Cobras have had more off-ice problems this week. They've had to release Rob McCaig after he sustained a 3-month ban following a biting incident last week when he was playing against the Cardiff Devils involving a linesman. So the Cobras really not having the best of luck of late, which is why at the moment they're propping up the Super League table. They're down there in 8th, really needing points here against the Bracknell Bees. Manchester top with pressure coming from the Panthers and the Eagles. The Devils have got a couple of games in hand, so really it's all to play for in this game here at the Newcastle Arena. Well, Newcastle not having great luck, but a man who's with me for this game's had a pretty good time of late. The Air Scottish Eagles captain Angelo Cadenaro helped that team win the Benson Hedges Cup a few weeks ago. Angelo, has it been hard getting your mind back on the league after lifting that silverware?
I don't think so. We enjoyed the moment while it was there. We won the cup, and yeah, you're on a little bit of a high. But we had to play 2 nights later and at home against Manchester. So, give guys a lot of credit. It was back to business, and that's what we did. But
it also inspires you, I guess, when you've tasted that success early on in the season, you want it more in the other competitions.
Yeah, I think it's like anything good in life. You have it, you try it, and it tastes so good, or it is so good, and you want more of it. So that's what we want right now.
Well, looking ahead to this game, the Newcastle Cobras, of course, have had some changes already this season with Dale Lambert coming in there. Is it difficult for them to concentrate on things when off the ice there are so many wrangles going on?
Well, at the end of the day, you're a hockey player, and that's what you got to do. You're paid to play hockey and to try and win the games. Dale's got, I think, a tough job to step into a situation that's, not so good, I guess, as of right now, because at the bottom of the league. It's a tough job for him to do, but everyone, we're here to pay to do that, so they have to try and do it.
And the Bracknell Bees, of course, well, they've had a very good run of late, haven't they?
Yeah, actually, Bracknell's got a pretty good club. I don't think people realize it. They got a pretty strong club, pretty deep, and it's no easy game playing against them.
The Cobras, they're looking quite mean, aren't they? They're looking up for it, Angelo.
Well, like I said, that's I guess they got their game faces on, and they're in desperate need of a win, to turn things around. And I'm sure they want to win here at home tonight in front of their fans and get things going.
Well, I'm sure you realise, and you've experienced this as well, all you need is to put a good few wins together, isn't it? And things can really turn around.
Yeah, winning's contagious, and again, when you're far down like this, you need a couple good wins. And if that does happen, you start getting on a roll, and I think that's what Newcastle needs.
Going back to the Bees briefly, you can't rule out anybody, can you, for this title? A couple of wins, and they're right up there with you guys.
No, exactly. That's why I wouldn't mind seeing Newcastle win tonight. The league's very tight right now, as we knew it was going to be at the beginning of the season. All teams have strengthened themselves quite a bit, and it's just a couple points separates first from fourth.
Thanks very much, Angelo. Well, the atmosphere's building here at the Newcastle Arena. It's sure to be a great game, so let's get on with the action and join our commentary team, Bob Carroll, but first, Tony Millard.
With the drums beating alongside us, but Newcastle have won just one of their last 8 games and have been shut out 3 times in league matches this season. An unwanted record, in fact, held by Bracknell last year. Bracknell themselves lie 6th and have yet to win away this season in the league. Newcastle's last home win in the Super League, though, was against Bracknell 5 weeks ago. So it promises to be quite a battle here tonight. Newcastle start with Wayne Cowley in goal. On defence is Chris Norton and Mark McCoy. Up front, Brett Stewart, Xavier Magic and Glenn Mulvenna. For Bracknell, it's Mark Bernard in goal. Starting defencemen are Wayne Crawford and Rob Stewart. And up front, it's Wade Butchis, Joe Ferriccioli and Chris Brandt. Number 10 for Newcastle is a newcomer, Xavier Magic. He's just joined them. The 30-year-old from British Columbia has played for Team Canada, and there's high hopes of him up here in the northeast that he can bring success to the Cobras. Number 47 for Bracknell is centreman Joe Ferriccioli. Last year he was troubled by injury, but Bees have benefited this year from a fully fit goal scorer and playmaker. Tonight's referee is Andy Carson from Dronfield in Derbyshire, just south of Sheffield. Well, the action is going to be important for both teams here. Bob Corolla's usually is alongside me. Bob, it's going to be a tough match.
It will be. Newcastle wanting to get on winning ways. They're starting what we call a home game streak. They've got some good home games. They've been on the road a lot this season, Tony, and I think that's probably affected their performance as much as some other things have.
For Newcastle, though, it's important to bring the fans here into this arena, a new home for ice hockey, of course.
And it's a beautiful arena as it is, and you know, once the people come in here, it's a great facility to watch a game from. There isn't a bad seat in the house, and you know, there's a bright lighting around here. All in all, I think Newcastle is going to be a real positive ice hockey club.
So, we're on the way, or just about so, as referee Andy Carson drops the puck. Newcastle in the lighter strip, that's the black and white strip, defending the goal to our left. And it's Bracknell, of course, the Bees in yellow and black, and now a great chance here, and a chance to go in front. And oh, so desperately close there. A real opportunity in the opening stages there for Brett Stewart, created by Xavier Magic. So near a goal in the opening 10 seconds. Still Newcastle pushing forward. This is Crawford, the big defenseman here. Puck goes up the ice, and that'll produce the first icing call of the match.
Icing.
Both teams already changing. As the clock counting down, we've been going 31 seconds, both teams changing the line.
Chris Norton, he's the assistant coach of the Newcastle Cobras, or they officially call him so. He's been around the British game for an awful long time, and he's assisting. There's the new man there, Mr. Dale Lambert. Sometimes dresses tonight, he's behind the bench, and he's got a long, tall job for him, ahead of him, but I'm certain that he's got the experience to do a great job.
So Newcastle desperately trying to win the draw from that face-off, but Bracknell staying cool, calm and collected. Pellerin, but the shot is charged down here on the edge of the blue line, and just inside the blue line, and then away comes Pellerin. 44 getting back for the Newcastle Cobras, Justin Duberman. Dale Junkin getting the puck across, and well, Wayne Cowley diving on that, and a little bit of rust up breaking out on the edge of the crease. Officials getting control of that early on.
Most coaches say, you know, if you're going to do any justice in the offensive zone, you've got to get the puck to the net in whatever way possible. Dale Junkin does that. And of course, Bracknell Bees and Dennis Burke right there looking for some form of rebound. Doesn't happen this time, so that's good, solid hockey.
But it does produce a face-off, of course, deep in that Newcastle defensive zone. Dale Junkin, number 91 there, getting ready to try and win the draw. Try and get it back to McCosh here on the blue line. It does get back to McCosh, who just keeps it in. Knocks the puck around the boards. Number 6 for Newcastle, Roy Mitchell on the backhand. The 27 for the Cobras there is Frank Lascala. Knocked into the neutral zone. And stopped by the officials there will produce yet another face-off there inside that Newcastle defensive zone. There's the Bracknell bench. Junkin having a rest, and there's Jim Fearchuck, their coach, who will mastermind their effort here this evening.
And of course, the Bracknell Bees missing tonight their assistant coach, Dave Whistle. Hey, Tony, he's at home with his good wife, Heather, who just had a son, Brandon. So all the guys I know are saying congratulations to Dave Whistle and his lovely wife, Heather, on the birth of their son.
Good Christmas present for the Whistles. Newcastle though on defence here. Now moving away here, this is Jamie Pegg, number 13. Step, help coming in now, they're going to push forward here. Good effort here from Brandy Smith, former Cardiff player of course, knocks it into the corner. A cover here from Colin Ward, and that's a newcomer for the Bracknell Bees. Knocked up into the neutral zone. And that will produce their second icing call of the game and a face-off deep down in the Bees' defensive zone. And so far, shots few and far between, the game a little bit scrappy.
Well, the Bracknell Bees, you know, just getting off the bus, Tony, and they got a big game tomorrow as well. And I think they're starting to get these bus legs out a little bit. It may take them a little bit of time, but nonetheless, you know, they're playing very, very disciplined, consistent hockey in their own zone. They're just making sure that they clear it out of that defensive territory, not causing any problem whatsoever.
Jamie Pegg is number 13 for Newcastle. They're scrambling the puck around the boards. Flipped down here by Todd Kelman for Bracknell Bees into the neutral zone. Officials wave it on as goaltender Wayne Cowley knocks it around the boards. Bracknell desperate to keep it in here. The cover for Newcastle from number 20, Randy Smith. Good work, though, for Bracknell there from Colin Ward, number 11. Weaver getting back for Newcastle, knocking that up the ice, and now Bracknell, 23, is Greg Burke, the older of the two blokes. This is Tom Gomes. Gomes with the shot, just wide, and Cowley pleased to see that one off target. Chase is on here, and the chase is really on here now for Newcastle. Magic showing good pace, the newcomer. Goaltender Mark Bernard tries to knock it against the plexiglass there, but Bracknell come away here, but it's good work here. And Newcastle intercepting the pass there. Great work, in fact, by Glenn Malvena. Chance to look at the Newcastle squad with Wayne Cowley starting in goal, of course, there. Paul Dixon, big number 22, British player, as are the two Johnson brothers. Newcomer Glenn Malvena, number 25. And Justin Duberman, who, of course, last season joined them halfway through the season.
Mr. Dale Lambert, the new coach of the Newcastle Cobras, off the ice tonight, but probably trying to concentrate on those coaching duties more than anything.
Well, as the puck goes out of play, a chance to look at the Bracknell Bees lineup here this evening. Mark Bernard starting in goal. Two Burke brothers, Greg and Dennis, of course. Tom Gomes, who's, well, just short of being the leading power play scorer in the league. He's got 3 power play goals so far. 2 others from other clubs, of course, have 4. Joe Ferraccioni, we've already featured. Dale Junkin, 91, top league goal scorer last season, league point scorer last season.
Dale Junkin, he's come to fire, hasn't he, Tony, over this last few games. I mean, he's really starting to inspire the Bracknell Bees, come out of that, if you like, a little bit of a problem spell, but that's one of the reasons why Bracknell has started really playing well.
Roy Mitchell, the big defenseman there for Newcastle, holding off the challenge. Puck won back, though, by Newcastle, and they're going to spray it this side. And this is great skating here from Brett Stewart, number 48. He has support here, too, from Glenn Malvena. Malvena's shot, but goes in. Comes off the far post, and somehow Mark Bernard didn't really know where that one was.
Well, Mark Bernard, I believe, just lost that puck at the last minute there after it rolled off his glove. That could have been a big problem for Bracknell. Well, what a save there by his defenseman to move that puck out of the crease area.
Well, Glenn Malvena shot from a very narrow angle, and I think the goaltender must have been unsighted.
Well, some nice circling there. Malvena gets the shot on goal, as you said, but it just eludes Bernard. It just hits his blocker. Look at that, right across the ice there. That's Matt Cote. He's the guy that makes the final save there. I'll tell you, you should get a pay rise for that one.
Can't get much closer than that. Newcastle in the lighter strip, pushing forward. Counting at the first shot on target, that from Glenn Malvena in the game so far. Pegg tries to get another one. This is Paul Dixon, 22. Dumps the puck into the corner. The cover for Bracknell there is Greg Burke, 23. Now it's Bracknell coming away in the striped strip. This is Kelman getting forward. Rare saute forward for the defenseman Todd Kelman, who again gets possession. Cycling work there for Bracknell from Colin Ward. Bracknell playing for space, playing for time. The first penalty call of the game about to come from Andy Carson. And this will give a power play the way of the Bracknell Bees, as the first Newcastle managers that makes tracks to the penalty bench.
Bracknell gaining possession in the offensive zone here. At this stage, the penalty has been called. They're just trying to get that shot on goal, obstructive view of Wayne Cowley, but it's Justin Duberman going off 2 minutes for holding on that play in the defensive zone.
Well, there's nobody too keen to disappear into the penalty box, but Justin Duberman is the man they want to fish out and get him into the penalty box to serve 2 minutes. Justin Duberman holding the stick is the call from referee Andy Carson. Power play Bracknell Bees.
Well, Justin Duberman, he came to Britain last year and played in Newcastle and got off to a tremendous start, and we saw his goal-scoring capabilities. But he has had some injuries this year, and you know, I think he's still trying to find his form, but he's certain to be working at it very hard.
This is Ferraccioli. Chris Brandt moves it left. Brandt comes across here to Ferraccioli again, number 47. He's got support on the blue line. Shot comes in from Chris Brandt, just off target. He's got a hell of a shot, this one. This is Colin Ward, number 11. Goaltender Cowley playing a big part to help his defence round behind his net and stopping that pass from Ward, but now it's back on the blue line. Brandt's shot takes a deflection high.
Although the Bracknell Bees aren't, if you like, in the top half of this Super League at the moment in terms of table standings, they've got excellent specialty teams. They do very, very well, and Jim Fierchuk, I know, must take pride in that. Chris Brandt, he's the guy that he uses on the point the most time, because as you said, Tony, possesses that huge shot.
Face off just inside the blue line. Bracknell on the power play. Dale Junkin trying to win the draw. Newcastle can slap it up the ice as often as they like, of course, as they're short-handed. The penalty clock counting down. Almost a minute of the power play. As we see on the clock, top right-hand corner of your screen, it's counted down. This is McCosh getting forward. Around the boards, they trying desperately to keep it in here. This is McCosh again. Grant Pellerin tries to make space. This is Dale Junkin on the puck. Has a man back on the blue line, which is Burke. This is with Burke. Keeps the puck in just about. Battling qualities here and still trying to take advantage of this power play. Under half a minute remaining. Good defensive work by Newcastle at the moment. Another piece of the pipe work hit there from a narrow angle there. That was just pretty close for Bracknell.
As we were speaking before, the Bracknell Bees have a tremendous power play. They move that puck so very well, try and create that 2-on-1 situation, breaking that box down of Newcastle. But Newcastle, once again, showing some composure in the zone here, and I think they're really, really happy to once again be back on home ice. I think they're feeling, you know, this is the game that's going to get themselves back into it.
Justin Duberman comes back onto the ice, and Newcastle improved their power play record. Good work here, knocked into the corner for Bracknell by Jeff Johnston. Johnston still battles for it. Knocks it around the boards. Coming around on this side is Burke. Good work by Cowley, the goaltender, behind his own net. Now Justin Duberman on the break here. Fresh out of the penalty box. Over the bar it goes, and I think that Mark Bernard was pleased to get his head out of the way of that one.
I guess they stop it any way they possibly can, but, you know, it looked like he had his glove on that, Tony, and it just managed to elude it a little bit. You wonder if there's maybe something a little bit wrong with his equipment down there.
Jamie Pegg on the break for Newcastle, sending them away on this side. First bit of ice time tonight, but just offside there was Anthony Johnson. And we could go down ringside and join our reporter, Nick Rothwell.
Tony, I've just been reading the notes in the match program from Dale Lambert, and he says to turn things around for this club, they've got to concentrate on two things. Number one, they've got to tighten up defensively, and number two, they got to score more. He says you can't wish the puck in the net. So what he wants the guys to do is crash in the net. And what he means by that is that when they shoot the puck, go for the rebounds. Everyone drive to the net for rebounds, and I think this is a pretty talented team, and Bob, I think you'll agree, they just need a bit of luck.
I think they've been doing that so far in this game. We've seen a lot of shots, very innocent shots perhaps, going to the net. But once those shots are made, you've got guys driving there to pick up some sort of a rebound. It's not fancy stuff, but boy, let me tell you, it's very, very effective. It's a gutsy performance, good physical play. Sean Johnson, a guy with some talent, no doubt. Again, at Bernard, let's drive, let's look for a rebound.
Bracknell then falls back behind their own net. Now a chance of a break here. Ferracholi tries to move it out, does so here. Great chases on in front of us here. 39 for the Bracknell Bees there, Wayne Butchis. But now Newcastle coming forward, and they've got a 2-on-1 situation here. The goaltender Bernard goes across and helps with the cover. Still the puck comes loose. 25 for Bracknell is Chris Brandt. So certainly they'll pull play back on that one. Give both teams a chance of a breather to change over, and the face-off will be deep in that Bracknell defensive zone once again.
There's a new signing for the Bracknell Bees, Derek Dukowski. Seen any sort of ice time for him at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to figure in the plans of Jim Fierchuk. Played in Wheeling in the East Coast Hockey League, but also spent recent time in Guildford.
Until joining Newcastle, hadn't played this year, but he tells me he comes from a professional sporting family. His dad was a professional baseball player. He said in Louisville, I think, or Louisiana, I think it was.
Louisiana, I'll tell you, that's a great sport to be in, Tony. You sit in the sun all day. It's something like cricket. It's just like yourself. You always got a tan in the summertime.
Newcastle 0, Bracknell Bees 0. No goals and very few shots, Bob, really, for an occasion like this.
It's been sort of a scrappy first period. As we said, you know, nothing pretty out there, but, you know, it seems to be the basics that are getting the teams forward. And that's important, I think, in this Super League this year. You know, you got to show up every night to play.
Move is on. Bram Pellerin sets them going. This is getting forward defenseman McCosh, but good cover again here. This time for Newcastle, number 13 there, Jamie Pegg, who's been working hard. Dale Junkin back helping out on defence here. Bracknell 91, kicked away by Wayne Cowley. Junkin has another bite of the cherry. In front of the crease, but knocked away from Pellerin. By Xavier Magic working hard. This is McCosh. He's going to knock it into the corner. It'll go round the boards here to the far side. Cowley stops it on its tracks.
You see that play by Wayne Cowley, the way that he stops that puck behind the net. He allows his team to regroup and come out of their zone as an efficient unit, and that's so very important to try and stop that puck behind that net. You notice Mark Bernard does the same thing. It's like having a sixth player out there moving forward.
Chance here for Newcastle, and good reading there by Bernard, who came on at the edge of his crease, narrowed the angle when it mattered, but still Newcastle are coming forward. Bernard had to watch that one carefully. The backhanded shot going in from Brett Stewart. Xavier Magic on the puck, holding it up against the board. Stewart in close attendance. This is Brett Stewart. Chance of a shot here, and that was vicious for Chris Norton, and only just off target. Brett Stewart again as Newcastle push forward. Mark Bernard kills it stone dead, and they'll be glad of the breather from that pressure.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours, especially in your own defensive zone, and I think the Bracknell Bees, it's safe to say, got caught running around a little bit in there. And it was all Newcastle because Chris Norton, a guy coming in from the point, winger should have him. He's got plenty of time to have that shot from the slot area. And that's where you want to be shooting from.
Well, nearly 10 minutes through the first period. There's Mark Bernard's Super League record this season. 50 goals conceded. Newcastle knock it back. Comes off the plexiglass here. They will win it back here with Ross Lambert. Shot here and an opportunity there. Bernard has to be alert for that. Chance here again, and the busy goaltender kicks it away. Close range from Lambert. This is Frank Lascala, number 27. Still Lascala in possession. Lambert helps him out. The cover here is from Chris Brandt for Bracknell. This is Joe Ferracholi. Chris Norton takes him wide. Newcastle win it back now, and they can break to the 3-on-2 here, but they get an unlucky bounce, and Chris Brandt wins it back for Bracknell. Again, Cowley behind his net. 44 for Newcastle in the lighter strip is Justin Duberman coming away with a puck. Good forechecking by Burt. Newcastle win it back here. And this is some powerful skating here by Weaver. Knocked down by Mitchell. Trumley is going to chase it. Cover there. Defensive work by Bracknell here. This is Junkin, though, getting away on the break. Cowley watches it, knocks it down. into the corner, but again comes Newcastle away in the lighter strip. 3-on-2 situation here. Break on this far side with Trumley on the edge of the crease. Penalties few and far between so far. This is Rob Trumley, shadowed by McCosh, 77 for Bracknell, who wins the puck back off him, and now McCosh can break for the Bees. Poor checking by Newcastle. This is Randy Smith. Moves it left there. Paul Dixon is 22. They can't keep it in.
I think it's fair to say, Tony, both teams struggling a little bit in terms of transition from defense to offense. Defensemen forced to carry the puck out of the zone. Perhaps the forwards maybe being a little bit high and not giving that option to the defenseman. You've got to try and come out as a unit and make sure that you add support to the puck carrier.
This is Jeff Johnston trying to carry the puck out. Good interception there on the red line. Dump back in. Goaltender Mark Bernard taking a leave out of Cowley's foot the other end. Jeff Johnston is 18 for Bracknell. Gains possession and brings the puck out of his defensive zone. It's going to be chased here by Colin Ward. Support goes in from Johnston, but Newcastle in fact winning back. This is 24 Tom Gomes for Bracknell. Cowley almost going the wrong way there with some good skating. Into the neutral zone it goes, and now Bernard is going to help his defence there and clear it into the neutral zone. This is Jamie Pegg, 13 for Newcastle. Again, they knock the puck forward. The chase is on. The cover of 23 for Bracknell is Greg Burke, but that's going to produce the face-off. And we can join once again Nick Rothwell ringside.
Hey guys, you know, Bob, how you mentioned that Mark Bernard didn't look too comfortable handling the puck with his gloves? Well, he's got a couple of new mitts on. He's got a new catcher and a new blocker, and he brought him back from Canada not long ago. He's only worn them in one game and a couple of practices. So Bob, like, you know, we talk about guys with new equipment and breaking them in. A lot of guys like to, a lot of goalies in particular, like to wear these gloves for 3 or 4 practices, a couple of weeks to break them in. And Mark says, let's put them on right away. It's not the equipment, it's the guy in it. Guys?
Well, he shows a lot of confidence. I got to say that much about him. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be me in there. I'd make sure that they went and practiced first a few times. Just admire it, though, because we had DeAngelis in Nottingham there with a new pair of skates on the other night. He didn't look too bad either.
Bracknell buzzing around here, and Cowley having to be alert there as Periccioli almost got the wrap around. Periccioli trying to create a chance. This is Rob Stewart getting forward. Good glove work by Brandt, who knocks it down, and Cowley couldn't have seen that one, but produced a good glove save.
Players driving for the net in that Newcastle zone with the shot from the point, and I think we get a good view here of just how many people are in front of that puck before, in fact, Wayne Cowley actually sees it. Shows the concentration that these goalkeepers must go through to keep their eye on that puck.
Another good face mask there, Bob.
Well, that one's got to go in the hat. Tony is one of the best in the Super League.
This is Justin Duberman knocking the puck around, but it's not going to be clear. Cote keeps it in. But Newcastle again, untidy passing for Bracknell, surrender possession, but McCosh finds DeCosti getting his first ice time. This is Lambert. Ross Lambert going for the first goal. Hits the pipe work yet again. Second time that post has been hit tonight. Chance here on the backhand. Great defensive cover from McCosh. A nick of time for Bracknell. Now they move away. This is Junkin. Knocks it into the corner. Chase on the far side for Bram Pellerin, number 22. Junkin with the support. Puck held up against the boards for Newcastle by Frank Nascala, 27. And that'll produce a face-off just on the edge of that circle. Well, watching on high is the Air Captain Angelo Catanaro. Angelo, how can they break this deadlock?
Well, I think Newcastle's got to keep doing what they're doing. They're creating some opportunity in the offensive zone by switching lanes and they're catching Bracknell defense sort of going with them. So they just keep going to the net and driving, and something's going to happen sooner or later.
Well, face-off is back in the Newcastle defensive zone. But we've got a little bit of a problem here. Some of the plexiglass has come to pieces on the barrier. And running repairs are going to have to take place here behind the goal, the Newcastle Arena start. The screwdriver is out.
There's actually grooves there, Tony, that plexiglass goes into, and sometimes, you know, in terms of vibration and just the fact of a big hit, what happens is it just pops out of there, and all they got to do is try and slide it back in. Doesn't always though.
Well, referee Andy Carson is down there, keeping an eye on the work. There's Andy Carson to the right of the rink staff. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer's with us tonight.
You can certainly see that young lady in the dark. There's no doubt about that.
Christmas spirit abounds up here in the Northeast. And there are the Bracknell fans playing their part.
I'll tell you, I think they've got some good dance schools down there in Bracknell, because every time we see them in a game, they've always got the beat and everything else, you know.
Well, in all these rinks these days, the music plays and the fans enjoy it. Repairs are over. Rink staff working well. And back to the action, which remains still, of course, Newcastle 0, Bracknell 0. We've been playing nearly 14 minutes in the first period. And again, too many scoreless periods these days, Bob, do we?
No, we don't, Tony. And the thing about it is, you know, both these teams perhaps, you know, realize the importance of this game, certainly from Bracknell's point of view, being on the road, but Newcastle to try and get into winning ways.
Well, the plexiglass is taking a hammering in this corner this time. Colin Ward in possession behind his own net, trying to send Cowley the wrong way, and Cowley jumping on that because the snapshot came in there, and really Tom Gomes came desperately close to open the scoring.
I'll tell you, Wayne Cowley comes up with a great save. Look at the way his feet here. He's got one pad covering one side of the net, and he's got another pad covering the other, but he's also got that stick down to the ice. If that puck is on the ice, there's no way that it's going in. Ward changes direction here, which is a smart move by him, because he tries to get the goalkeeper going the other direction. Cut back on him. He loses his momentum.
Well, that man Wayne Cowley, of course, the hero of Sheffield's championship a couple of years back.
Born in Scarborough, Ontario, and we know that he moved to Germany last year and enjoyed a reasonable season in their DEL over there.
Still low. Newcastle take back in their zone. Bracknell having a few inspired moments. This is Colin Ward. He loses out. Now the break is on here. We've got two getting forward. This is Trumley in possession, and Bernard this time has to get down, and somehow it's scrambled away. We're going to have a penalty called here. Referee Carson holding up play for the moment, and this will be a penalty against the Bracknell Bees, their first of the match. And we'll just see who he's called on that.
Well, there's a bit of anticipation there by Greg Burke in the offensive zone, and he thought that puck was going to be moved to him. As a result of that, Newcastle was allowed to come out of the zone. Almost on a 2-on-0, you see Burke trying to get back into the play, and he tries to catch Tremblay to avoid the shot on goal.
Greg Burke it is that goes into the box then, and this will produce a power play the way of the Newcastle Cobras.
That's a difficult play for Greg Burke. He's got to get himself in there. He knows it's a one-on-one with a goaltender, so he's got to go to exceptional exploits there to try and prevent the shot. Most coaches would call that a good penalty.
Well, there's a chance here, short-handed goal backs on the break for Bracknell, and this is the other Burke getting forward. Good work here by Dennis Burke. And Newcastle in possession. Newcastle looking to improve their power play success record. They've only scored 4 power play goals in the league this season. They have the worst penalty or power play success rate in the Super League. This is Stewart for Newcastle, number 48, Brett Stewart. Bob Stewart on the other side, of course, for Bracknell Bees. Building from the back, trying to open out this Bracknell defence. Trying to get round the back of them now. Chance there, just wide on the backhand there from Magic. This is Glenn Malvena. Malvena and Magic combined. Good clearance there. Wade Butchis takes a breather after doing that. Now here comes Newcastle again. Randy Smith feigns the shot, goes for the shot. Mark Bernard didn't quite know where that was, somewhere near his left foot. This is Brett Stewart, 48. Deflection away onto the plexiglass. Glenn Malvena behind the net in possession. Malvena combining well with Randy Smith. The support here back on the blue line. Shot's going to go, and Roy Mitchell is number 6 on the blue line, but still they try and get forward. Close range here, and Mark Bernard is down and brings his feet together in the nick of time to thwart the danger.
You do anything you possibly can to make sure that that puck stays out. And I think Mark Bernard was actually worried about him going into the back of the net, which meant the puck would probably go in underneath him. But Bracknell do a good job here on the penalty kill. Once again, Manchester just taking that puck to the net and looking for some form of rebound. I think in certain terms, perhaps a bit of frustration on their part, but nonetheless, Bernard has to come up big with that save and just cover it up. Good job by his defenseman to hold those forwards out of there and pick up that rebound.
Well, Bracknell's penalty killing record, the best in the league. They've only conceded 3 power play goals so far in the Super League this season. Good penalty killing record. Newcastle will again start from the back. Number 4 for Newcastle here is Chris Norton, their assistant coach. He's in possession. He's got men to right and left. Talk positively. We have here for Duberman on the backhand, only just wide. Knocked around the boards. Back onto the ice. Comes Greg Burke. And Bracknell further improved that impressive penalty killing record. And tonight's match is still scoreless. This is Chris Brandt getting forward. Butches to his left. Offside. Tight decision there. Gordon Smith, the linesman. Johnny on the spot to spot it.
Chris Brandt sporting that new haircut down there. Looking at the penalty killing percentage, 93.8 for the Bracknell Bees. And we spoke earlier on about their specialty teams and just how well they do on that. And I'm sure that, you know, they work very, very hard on it.
Well, not only have they only conceded 3 power play goals, but they've also scored 4 short-handed goals this season. So they're in credit on those situations. This again, number 23 is Greg Burke. Gomes in possession, 24. This is Gomes. No shot away. DeCoste on this side. Still Bracknell pushing. This is Johnston. Another penalty call here. And this time it's going to be a Bracknell power play. And it's Jamie Pegg, I think, the man who's going to go to the penalty box for Newcastle.
Andy Carson stamping his impression on this match. And Jamie Pegg looks like he's going to pick up a slashing penalty in his own defensive zone. Both players going into the corner with a puck. There's that quick crack there on DeCoste. And Jamie Pegg will find himself sitting for the 2 minutes.
So power play to the Bracknell Bees, their second of the game. Bracknell Bees power play success, third only to Manchester and Sheffield in the league this season. Newcastle 0, Bracknell 0, with just over 2.5 minutes of the period remaining. Xavier Magic can't clear that. Knocked back by Burke. Junkin is going to chase it around the boards. Cowley plays his part, the goaltender. Chance here at the edge of the crease. Surely that must go in. Well, that must have been the save of the season from Wayne Cowley, because the shot was literally 3 inches off the line.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I had my hands in the air up here, just in a literal sense, but we must be certain that would have been awful close to that goal line, but that cross-ice pass there, oh dear, I don't know. His stick, his goal stick was certainly right on the goal line there, so if anything, I just wonder if that puck completely crossed the line. Can't really see it there. I'd have to say Mr. Cowley is credited with a save. Some good work here by Junkin to find his man in front of the net there. I'll tell you, that's a nice needlepoint pass.
Well, Brian Pellerin there certainly thought he got the puck over the line, but that was well, it was quite a save by Wayne Cowley if he kept that one out.
Well, at the moment, Bracknell hasn't scored, but the Tom-Toms, they're banging, and they want a goal.
That's the closest we've come. We've hit the pipework twice the other end. The line at that end. This is Shane McCosh. Xavier Magic is chasing him. Coming around to collect the loose puck for Bracknell. This is 23, Greg Burke. Junkin feeding a man to his right. Knocked around the boards here by Wayne Butchis. This is Roy Mitchell, the defenseman, missing the puck there. Cowley has to watch that carefully. Knocked into the neutral zone there. Looks for help there from Mark McCoy. Shane McCosh in possession here for Bracknell, behind his own net. Ferriccioli collects the puck from him. This is Joe Ferriccioli. Good skating, good stick handling by Ferriccioli. Support from Colin Ward. Chris Brandt is back on the blue line. Ferriccioli again. Well, a man standing in the goal crease there, and the referee, Andy Carson, says, well, the face-off must go outside that defensive zone, Bob. Unusual call.
It is, but that's the point that's made. You know, you've got to stay out of that crease area. We don't really see it there. But it was Tom Gomes, I believe, just on the short side there. He was certainly hanging around Wayne Cowley, maybe having a good look at them goal pads.
Well, the penalty clock counting down here. Just under half a minute on Tom Gomes' penalty. Moving to the last minute of this first period. Bracknell trying to capitalise. Cowley having to be alert in goal. Good cover here. Newcastle now moving away. Dixon. It's the plexiglass. Penalty clock counting down. Davy Pegg is back in front and immediately stops Joe Ferriccioli in his tracks. Waved on by the official. Bracknell in possession now in the striped strip playing from our right. Moving into the last 20 seconds of the period. Roy Mitchell is number 6 with the cover. This is Ross Lambert. Lambert tries to get Newcastle going. Could they get a goal in the closing seconds? This is Junkin for Bracknell, 3-on-2. As support from Burke on the edge of the crease there, and good defensive cover from Roy Mitchell. Into the neutral zone. Klaxon goes, the whistles goes, and it brings down the curtain on the first period. Devoid of goal, but providing plenty of action. Twice the pipe work was hit at the Bracknell defensive end, and desperately close Bob Pellerin came the other end, Cowley producing a miracle save. But at the end of the period, it's ended Newcastle 0, Bracknell 0.
Coming up on Christmas Day on Sky Sports 1, it's a Soccer AM Christmas special. Join Helen Chamberlain and the rest of the gang for the best moments of Soccer AM from 1997. That's Christmas morning, 8 o'clock, just after you've opened your presents on Sky Sports 1. Right now, though, we're live and exclusive in Newcastle. The Newcastle Cobras taking on the Bracknell Bees in the Super League. And after the first period, that's the story of the game so far. No goals, but plenty of shots on target for the Cobras, 13 to the Bees 7, which really describes the first period quite accurately. And when you consider that the Newcastle Cobras have only averaged 25 shots on goal per game, that first period really was quite frantic for them. Angelo Catanara, it was Newcastle's period when all said and done, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think they pushed the play forward quite a bit and actually created quite a few opportunities. Bernard made some good stops. Maybe they were a little bit unlucky, but I think for the first period, that's Newcastle's way for sure.
Well, we can see some of the shots that they did have on target.
Well, over here, they're on the power play, I guess, and they're creating a diamond, and I don't know who is that. He's going to shoot it to the net, and they got 3 guys in the second here just crowding the net. There's Randy Smith in front. I don't know who that is. They're going to that, trying to get the rebound, and that's what you want to do. We heard during the game, Nick Rothwell was telling us how Dale Lambert had said he's told them to keep going for the net, and this was an example of that, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly. I think, you know, when you're struggling, especially on the power play, you don't want to be too fancy. You want to get the puck to the net and to get as many guys as you can there to try and get the rebound in the net. The Bracknell Bees were also quite prevalent, weren't they, towards the end of that period? They had some action around the Newcastle goal. Yeah, here's this one again. I think they're on the power play here, and they're going to do a down-low play, we call it, and he's going to come across the front of the net. You have Pellerin driving, and I don't know if that went in or not. Might have been unlucky there a bit. It looked from here, didn't it? But mind you, we are at the other end of the rink here, but we perhaps thought that they'd gone in. Yeah, it looked a little bit, but again, I think Cowley gets his stick across the goal line and kept it out, so good play by him. Okay, thanks very much for the moment, Angelo. Well, 1997 saw 3 Super League contests decided. There were 3 lots of silverware up for grabs already so far this season. We've had the Benson Hedges Cup up for grabs, and you've seen it all live on Sky Sports. We've got the pictures to prove it, so sit back and enjoy a review of 1997.
I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. just an alley creeper.
Newcastle take the lead.
The young fighters screaming with no time for down. With the pain and up, can't see a way out. It ain't much time asking. I heard him say, gotta find me a future, move out of my way. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. If you want the truth, here's to the future. He's a cry of you. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. I want it all. I want it all.
So their Scottish Eagles collect the first trophy of the season, the Benton and the Hedges Cup, but there are 3 more to go and 7 other clubs competing. Who can win the rest?
Happy Angelo Catanaro with memories of the trophy which you lifted just 2 weeks ago. That must be your high spot of the year so far.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's again, it's a great feeling to win. That's why we play the game, and there's no other feeling like it when you're playing a professional sport. You know, that's the objective, is to win as many trophies as you can. So like I say, we've won one, and hopefully we're going to try and compete for the other ones.
Does Jim Lynch realistically think that even though you finished 3rd in your inaugural season, which is a great success, that you can move 1, maybe 2 places better than that in the Super League this season?
Yeah, I think everyone's expectations in our dressing room are to keep winning, you know, and we did very well last year, but that was last year. That's behind us. You know, this is a new season. The league's gotten a lot better. Every team has really strengthened themselves. So it's a battle for every trophy, for every game.
You were telling me just then as well about the atmosphere in Ayr. There were 2,000 people turned out to your party when you won that trophy. Obviously, the Ayr Scottish Eagles play a very important part in the town.
I think the whole community's really rallied behind us. That trophy was important for us as it was for them, and I think the whole area. You know, we walk around town and we're pretty much noticed, and it's a great feeling. I mean, I can't really describe it. You have to be there and live it, and it's great, and I'm very proud to have lifted that.
Thanks very much, Angelo, and the goatee's gone now, of course, as well. Well, that was the review of 1997, the best of the action from the year gone by. Let's have a look at the best of the action from the week gone by. This is Rink Roundup.
Ayr built up a commanding 4-0 lead in Basingstoke, and it took until the 3rd period for the Bison to get on the score sheet. Murph Priest going end-to-end to stuff it home on Dobson's short side. Montanari aired out a nice pass for Baba to put it upstairs to make it 5-2 to Ayr. They went on to collect the 2 points with a 6-2 scoreline. Ayr again on the road, this time in Cardiff. Mark Montanari grabbing the spoils to make it 2-1 to Ayr. Jason Stone then tied things up at 2 apiece as his knuckleball found its way through traffic to send it to OT. And it was John Parko who tapped in this Jamie Steer pass to give Ayr the overtime win. Manchester had little trouble in sweeping the Cobras aside up in Newcastle. Chris Miller making it 4-0. It was Corey Bolio and Blake Knox who sparked off fight night in Sheffield. The Steelers losing at 5-0 and collecting a few suspensions on the way. Sheffield then faced the Bison in the House of Steel. Ed Courtney set up Ken Priestley for his hat trick as he punished Galachi with this shot to make it 3-2 to Sheffield.
Basingstoke's sharpshooter Kevin Conway then grabbed a tying goal late in the third to make it 4-all and send it to OT. And that's how things stayed.
Well, we're full of the Christmas spirit here on Ice Hockey Live, and to prove it, we've got a special festive competition for you. A chance to win a copy of Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey computer game and one of the latest top-rated 64-bit consoles to go with it. All you have to do is answer this question. Who scored the winning goal for Ayr in the Benson & Hedges Cup final earlier this month at the Sheffield Arena? Was it A, Jeff Hode, B, Jamie Steer, or C, Scott Young? That's A, Jeff Hode, B, Jamie Steer, or C, Scott Young. Call the Ice Hockey Live competition line with your answer on 0891 665585. That's 0891 665585. Of course, ask permission if you're not paying the bill in the house. Calls are going to cost 25 pence, and the closing date is midnight on Monday, the 22nd of December. We'll announce the winners on a live game, Bracknell against Manchester, on Tuesday, the 23rd of December. So good luck with that one. You could have a nice early Christmas present. Those two are certainly in the Christmas spirit, aren't they? Tying on the ribbons on the hats there. And everybody's enjoying the mince pies, maybe a little bit of mulled wine. We're enjoying the action here. Join us after the break. Newcastle Cobras against the Bracknell Bees. Coming up on Christmas Day on Sky Sports 2, salute to the Lions, a game-by-game review of this year's historic tour of South Africa by the victorious British Lions. Join Gavin Hastings, Stuart Barnes and David Boban on Christmas morning from 10 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. Right now, though, we're live and exclusive in Newcastle. The Cobras are taking on the Bracknell Bees here at the Newcastle Arena. And at the moment, after the first period, despite a lot of action between the sticks in terms of the goalkeepers having to really work hard, it was 0-0 after the first period. But we're right here, live and exclusive. So let's join the commentary team for the second period. It's Bob Carroll, but first, Tony Millard.
Suddenly we'll be looking for some goals in this period. Both goals, as Gabby said, had narrow escapes on several occasions during that first period, and both had opportunities to capitalise on the power play. Newcastle, in fact, on one power play had 4 shots on Mark Bernard that failed to capitalise.
And some good defensive play, I think, in that period as well. You know, no sort of loose pucks, if you like, being left in front of those goalkeepers. Good goaltending, some great saves. Hey, that's indicative of the Super League this year, you know. There's going to be some real tight, low-scoring hockey games.
Well, we're underway now in this second period, with Newcastle this time in the lighter strip, defending the goal to our right and in possession with Xavier Magic at the moment, number 10. Newcomer tries to find, but Rob Stewart gets forward for Bracknell Bees, and Stewart's shot is kicked away by the left foot of goaltender Wayne Cowley.
To see the turnover there deep in the zone by Magic, and that caused problems for Newcastle. Lucky to get out of there without a goal being scored against them. Turnovers in your own zone, very crucial.
Dumped back in now by Bracknell Bees. Playing in the strike strip, of course, and now playing towards the goal on our right. But this is Newcastle coming away here. Two-line pass will bring the puck back inside for a face-off just inside the Newcastle blue line.
There's the two-line pass originating from inside Newcastle's defensive zone, just over the red line, before Brett Stewart picked it up. The leading scorer for the Newcastle Cobras this season, Brett Stewart. And we know that he can certainly find the net, Tony.
Well, certainly in that game, they found it 3 times when they beat Bracknell on their visit here on November the 16th. This is Roy Mitchell. This is La Scala, number 27 for Newcastle, trying to scramble it clear as the Bees push forward. The icing call, as La Scala sends it up the ice, again produce a face-off in that Newcastle defensive zone. Here's Jim Fairchuck. What will he be thinking now, Bob? His team doing well, do you think?
Well, they're on the road, Tony, you know, and I think he has to be pleased with that first period. You know, they've come out of it 0-0. Maybe didn't play as well as what they wanted to. Getting those bus legs out, though, and I'm sure that this game is going to gain some momentum for the Bracknell Bees.
Their away record, they've yet to get a point away in the league, of course, so they'd be delighted with one up here. Bracknell Bees players watching from the bench there. Comes into the court. This is Paul Dixon. Kicking the puck around the boards. 44 is Justin Duberman. It wasn't Justin Duberman, it was Jonathan Weaver, I think it was. It was Duberman.
Well, Dale Lambert, there he is. I think he's sporting that new Christmas haircut there, getting himself ready. But I think he has to be pleased. You know, anytime you take a team over that's struggling and they're in last place, you know, you do whatever you can to try and build from that. And once they gain a little bit of a momentum, Tony, the first victory that they get is going to be ever so very important for this Newcastle side.
Newcastle at the moment forced back here. Wayne Cowley watches that puck behind his net. The Scala clears the danger into the neutral zone. Back in possession, Shane McCosh, the big defenseman for Bracknell. But now the Scala combining well with Ross Lambert. The Scala looks for support on the far side. Duberman goes in. This time Bernard forces the puck around the back of his net. And Bernard has to watch that chance here for the Scala, and the feet of Bernard saves that at point-blank range.
I would have to say that that's an unorthodox style or a way to stop a puck, but certainly Mark Bernard comes up with a job there and prevents that point-blank shot from Frank Lascala right in front of the net.
Ross Lambert's pass goes astray. Interception by Colin Ward. Tom Gomes is going to chase it in. Jamie Pegg taken into the boards by Gomes, who pushes forward. Johnston on the blue line just keeps the puck in that attacking zone. This is Gomes again for Bracknell, who are committed at the moment to all-out attack at the start of this period. Still they're battling. This is Gomes behind the net. Cowley puts his glove on it. Eyeing for a straight. Well, Wayne Cowley's having quite a bit of work here tonight.
He has, you know, he's one of these guys, Tony, these goalkeepers. Someone's going to win this one-on-one battle. It's Bracknell coming out of the net there. Wayne Cowley, I think, maybe loses his balance a bit. Nonetheless, he wants to make sure that he plugs up that short side of the net. Here's a look at that Mark Bernard save in front of the net here. Look at how he stacks the pads. Wowie, I'll tell you, what a save by that goalkeeper. That's unorthodox, as I said before, but he does the job. He gets it done and keeps that puck out.
As we so frequently say, top-class goaltending here in this league this season. More of it tonight. This is Jamie Pegg, number 13. Finding well here and now getting forward Randy Smith. Trumbley is in support as well. Smith chases into the corner with Kelvin. Knocked around the boards, and Pegg won't keep this in. They have to rescue it for Newcastle in the neutral zone. Chris Norton is number 4 on this side. Norton returns the compliment to Pegg, combines with Randy Smith. Now Trumbley's getting forward, and Weaver's going to get a chance of a shot here. The rebound comes out, and eventually getting back for Bracknell there is Jeff Johnston to clear the danger when it really mattered.
Newcastle again just shooting that puck to the net. Because the shots have got some significance, there's rebounds happening and coming out. Bernard makes a save. There's the rebound. Newcastle all over. Lucky that puck is bouncing. Otherwise, there's going to be another crack at it. And it could go in this time. Good, simple hockey. Drive for that net, as Tremblay did on that play, and hope that you get that rebound.
Well, the rebounds tonight generally being cleared by the defenders at both ends rather than the forward picking them up.
But you can see that these defensemen are picking those forwards up, Tony, and they're trying to tie them up in the sense that they're not able to get that shot away or a clear shot on goal, even though it is off the rebound. Make sure you pick your man up and follow him through, right through the zone.
Bracknell now forced back. This is Crawford bringing the puck away. They will surely get this into the neutral zone. They do. Good possession here, but now Newcastle win it back. Glenn Mulvenna tries to switch play. He's got support here. Bracknell again closing them down just when it matters. Puck going right up the ice. Linesman Gordon Perry blows his whistle, and that will produce the icing call to take the action back down to the Bracknell defensive zone. Well, full support for Bracknell.
Bit of a Christmas rhyme going there. Tony, you gotta like that eyeshadow too. Did you see that Christmas eyeshadow they got on there?
Well, they're on the way up to Scotland, I think, from this to air tomorrow night. Round trip for the Bracknell fans this weekend. Now Bracknell pushing forward here. Good work here. Good work on the edge of the crease there. And eventually this is Magic, who's working well, clearing the danger and feeding Stewart on this side. Stewart shot. Good glove work by Mark Bernard.
Well, I think Bracknell getting caught there without anybody coming back. You want to make sure in an ideal situation you've got one man back. This is why Brett Stewart is one of the top scorers in the league. You see that shot? Boy, that was quick. Going for the far side, Tony. But have a look at how high this is just off the ice. Just barely off the ice. And those are the difficult ones for the goalkeeper to stop.
Brett Stewart with 6 goals already in the league this season. That was almost number 7 added to his 11 in cup competitions.
May we say, though, that Mark Bernard making that good glove save there, Tony. I think those new gloves are starting to work for him now. They're maybe a bit susceptible in the first period, but
he'd be thank you whoever gave them to him for his Christmas present.
I would too, at the price of them.
Puck held up against the balls. Lascala tries to work it loose. On back by Jamie Pegg, who's getting through a lot of work for Newcastle tonight. Into the neutral zone. The number 13 for the other side, Bracknell, is Dennis Burke. This is Dale Junkin. Number 91. Chance on the edge of the crease here. Good work here by McCosh getting forward. Cover this time for Newcastle. Number 22 is Paul Dixon. Play switched here. Lascala is 27. Good work by Bernard to clear the danger. Junkin helps out. They get it into the neutral zone with Burke. Again getting forward is McCosh, who time and time has done this again. This is Bellerin. Chance here at the edge of the crease, and somehow, well, really getting forward there. Matt Cote could have made more of that. Again at the other end, Bernard save. That glove is hot.
An offensive threat by the Bracknell Bees once again turns over in a defensive zone and allows Frank Lascala this big shot. Bernard maybe makes a little bit of work out of it, but once again, look at how far he comes out of his net to cut that angle down. Point blank save. What a great glove hand.
Well, there's the shot position. Newcastle out shooting Bracknell about 2-1, but still no goals at either end. Again, the Bracknell defence working hard, and now the break is on here. This is Colin Ward on the break, number 11. Support going in here. It's still Bracknell push forward. Tom Gomes. Ward tries to ease the puck out. Newcastle defending in depth. Randy Smith is back. This is Ward with the shot. The edge of the crease, and it's Gomes! That's put Bracknell in front. Tom Gomes once again has scored his 11th goal in all this season. Bracknell lead 1-0.
We see the turnover happen right there. Ward gets the puck back on a great heads up pass to Gomes, which is basically a redirection there that eludes Wayne Colley in the nets. He allows a little bit of time, but I must say the turnover that allows Newcastle to lose that puck in their own zone is the one that gets them into trouble.
Well, could Bracknell be on their way to their first away league win of the season? Newcastle will be keen to stop them, and the man who produced that save, kicking it away, Mark Bernard, is having a lot to do with this. Newcastle are out shooting Bracknell. It's Bracknell in front by 1-0. Jeff Johnston, number 18, got an assist on that goal, but at the moment we got referee Andy Carson has got hurt. The puck was hit straight at referee Andy Carson, and that is a little bit painful. The man from Dronfield.
Well, these players, they like to take no chances at all, Tony, in getting the puck out of the zone. In that particular case, Bracknell just going back into the zone with the puck, but keeping it along the barrier, because if you get it into mid-ice, you get into trouble. Andy Carson getting caught with that errant shot around the barrier area there.
Well, as the puck goes round there, and Andy Carson is now at the bench getting treatment. Ice coming into play. Well, Nick Rothwell is down ringside. Probably tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, guys, Andy Carson's in right in front of me. He's got a lot of pain on his face. He's got the puck right above the wrist on his right hand. And the physio from Newcastle's got some ice on it, and they'll probably sit there for a few minutes to try and get the blood away from it, and I'm sure he'll continue because he's a pretty brave guy.
Well, that puck just right on the, right above the finger area there, and you can see the shot going around the boards by Jeff Johnston. He just wanted to get it back into the zone and perhaps create a better breakup for the Bees, but Andy Carson, he was in good position to follow that play, but was in the obstruction of the puck Kenny Swinburne there of the Newcastle Cobras offering a little bit of attention to Andy Carson. Little ice on it, try and keep the swelling down.
Well, I'm sure these referees are equally hard as some of the players, and they'd be very keen to get back into the action. But play, of course, stopped, because it is important that we have a top grade official in charge.
The question will be, Tony, is whether or not Andy's able to continue on this game. Whether they've got a backup official to come in his replacement.
Well, he's quite clearly in pain, isn't he?
The unfortunate thing about this, Tony, is on a shot like that, especially when you get hit in the bare hand, that's not going to get any better. That's just going to get worse from here on in, especially being hit by the puck.
He could hold his whistle in the other hand, Bob. Well, we've got Super League official Richard Beaupre down ringside with our reporter Nick Rothwell.
Richard, what happens if Andy can't carry on tonight?
Well, if Andy isn't able to carry on, generally you go to a two-man system. Both of the linesmen would then, in theory, make a decision as to who is going to call the penalties. But it does appear that Andy's okay. He's had an ice bag on his hand, and I fully expect him to complete the match.
Thanks, Rich.
Well, as Richard Beaupre said, there is Andy Carson. His wrist is bandaged, but he's going to carry on.
A little bit of coverage there. The officials enjoy the luxury of having those gloves on there, so if the puck actually hits them, boy, that can be very, very painful.
I just wonder whether he'll get this sympathy for the players. This is DeCosti for Bracknell Bees. Chance here, and really taken wide there. Opportunity coming the way of Rob Stewart getting forward. And now Newcastle, who have to get back into this game. Knocked down on the stick hand of the goaltender Bernard. This is Joe Periccioli. DeCosti switches. This is Chris Brandt looking for the trailer, hasn't got one, loses possession. Glenn Malvena picks it up to Xavier Magic. Good skating by Magic. It's a lively player, this newcomer.
He is, you know, and he went to the off speed, if you like, in terms of going into the offside wing there. Created a few picks by his players and managed to get an excellent shot on goal. That's taking advantage of your ice surface very well.
Ron Pellerin is going to chase it here for the visitors, the Bracknell Bees, but now Malvena gains possession for Newcastle. Cote loses his stick, gives Malvena a chance to capitalise. Paul Dixon is going to chase it into the corner. Montbernard kills that stone dead and realises that danger threatens. Playing his part, the Bracknell goaltender tonight, and keeping his team in front.
Well, Bernie, you know, we've always admired him as a goalkeeper. Last year, there's a young gal. She's been enjoying this game, I'm certain. Getting back to Mark Bernard, though. He was a great goalkeeper, and he was one of the big inspiration points I felt for the Bracknell Bees last season, coming over from the East Coast League. But more importantly, you know, because Dale Junkin won the scoring race, you know, perhaps a lot of the limelight was taken off of Mark Bernard, but he certainly did a great job for his team last season.
Well, he certainly did a great job tonight. This is Junkin. Pellerin is helping him out, his line mate. This is Pellerin in possession. Norton keeps it in. Chance for Newcastle to go forward. This is Johnson, number 12, but a stick is lying on the ice and getting in the way, but now they come away. This is McCosh, the defenseman, getting forward. As support the edge of the crease from Burke. Cowley didn't like that. Burke again. This is Junkin, 91, behind the net. Still in possession. Junkin holds on to it. Support from Matt Cote, number 8. 12 for Newcastle is Anthony Johnson. Number 8 is Sean Johnson. Johnson brothers playing their part. Still, McCosh keeps it in. This is Pellerin, good stick handling. Again, Wayne Cowley has to be sharp on that. Falls on the puck in his crease.
I'll tell you, Burke gets that puck out to Junkin in front of the net here. Here's the give and go, down low. Boom on a one-timer. Just comes out, and who's there? Junkin, great anticipator of the play. Lucky for Cowley, he hangs on to it, knowing that he's in trouble if that puck pops loose to Junkin in the slot area.
Well, Andy Carson has got a smile, so there appears no lasting damage to his wrist, although it's still bandaged. I'm sure he'll survive. He can force a smile, can't he?
Must know the cameras are on him, eh, Tony?
Newcastle moving away with it. 24 is Mark McCoy, the newcomer. Rob Trumbley. It's won back by Jeff Johnson. Now still Newcastle on the break. Ends is Frank Lascala with a shot, 27. Todd Kelman can't control the puck properly. 23 for Bracknell. To the rescue is Greg Burke. Cowley playing his part again, knocking the puck round behind the net to Mitchell. Interception from Colin Ward. Ward for Bracknell in possession. This is Ward. Almost creating an opportunity on the edge of the crease there for Todd Kelman. Newcastle managed to dump it into the neutral zone. The chase is on, and that will produce the icing call as Bernard watches it go behind the line.
Frank Lascala, the Italian-Canadian. Played in Germany last year. Another one of the big names that's certainly come to the UK and joined the Super League, but Kemper's starting to flare out there a little bit.
Well, Frank Lascala, of course, involved in that little altercation there, but the officials over there quickly. The 28-year-old from Ontario quietly goes to the bench. No penalties called at all.
One of these great big power forwards, as we call them, Tony, really show a lot of physical presence, especially in the offensive zone, and that's one way to describe Frank Lascala.
Face-off, though, is now deep in that Newcastle defensive zone. Bracknell still lead by a goal to nil. Officials getting impatient, wondering who's going to take the face-off. Gordon Smith, the linesman, to drop the puck. Eventually comes back here, and Crawford with a shot, kicked away by Wayne Cowley. Another chance here, a chance for Chris Brandt. Twice in succession there, and the charge down there. That's some pain, in fact, for Jamie Pegg, who blocked the first shot. This is Crawford again. Joe Periccioli, 47. Gets possession, and now a chance on the break here. This is Rob Stewart. Chance here on the break too, and there's surely going to be all hell lets loose there, because taken down into the net is Wade Butchers. The officials wade in there as Cowley dives on the puck.
Well, Wade Butchers gets a step here, and if he's allowed to go clear, he's one-on-one with Cowley, but you can see the hook being put in there. He doesn't get the shot away. And of course he goes straight into the net. Bracknell get another crack at it, by the way, but it's to no avail because Butchers is in the net. Although he's pushed in there by Jamie Pegg. How about that, by following your man straight into the net? Good job by Mr. Pegg there. I think you had a penalty call on that one, didn't you?
I thought that might have been hooking. And I think so did somebody else. The referee having to chat with the players there, but the face-off is now deep in that Newcastle defensive zone. Bracknell having the better of it at the moment, leading 1-0. McCosh. This is Duberman on the block. Newcastle getting Lascala back on the ice. Puck done back by Duberman on the backhand. Bernard watches it behind his net. Flipped around the boards. Interception by Justin Duberman. Challenged by Junkin. This is McCosh again. Back to cover for Newcastle. Mark McCoy, 24. McCosh. Seen a lot of action at both ends of the ice. Almost knocked off the puck there by Justin Duberman. Neutral zone possession here. Mitchell with a shot. Takes the deflection of McCosh's skates. Lascala rescues the puck on that side. Kicked away by Bernard under pressure. Cleared into the neutral zone. Newcastle win it back. This is Roy Mitchell again. Shot goes in just wide there from Chris Norton. This is Gomes. Good work on the edge of the crease by Norton as DeCoste got forward. Lascala again for Newcastle. Bracknell are giving Newcastle very little time on the puck. More now though as the Scala gets forward, but again, cover goes in. Greg Burke doesn't give any space at all. Todd Kelman now getting forward. Kelman puts the shot off target. Cowley has to watch that as it's clipped back across goal. This is Weaver. Support from Trumbley. Even more support here going in. This time for Dixon, and just across the crease it goes. Newcastle move ahead of pace. A penalty call here against Paul Dixon will give a power play the way of the Bracknell Bees.
Well, Paul Dixon going on to the offense, which is something that the Newcastle captain doesn't do every so often. But there's the interference that allows Jonathan Weaver to gain possession of the puck in the offensive zone. Had he not done that, it would have been certainly a one-on-one battle there. But Paul Dixon being picked up on his interference call.
Quite an honour for Paul though to be captain of the Newcastle Cobras, because I think I'm right in saying he's the only homebred player to be captaining a side in the Super League.
I think you're right there, Tony, and you know, he's one of these guys that plays with an awful lot of heart, and you know, he certainly takes his team's side at the moment in terms of how well they're playing. You know, they know that they've got to turn it all around, so you know, that's a big job for the captain to try and help his team get back into a winning percentage.
Bracknell on their third power play of the game, looking to grab their second goal. Shot goes in. I'm sure that Cowley was pleased to see that go by. Slapped goalwards there by Chris Brandt. More on Paul Dixon in a moment. I think he's the third captain of Newcastle this season. Chance here for Stewart. Knocked around on the edge of the crease. There it is! Gomes grabs his second goal of the game. Tom Gomes has scored again. And that is Tom Gomes' fourth power play goal of the season. Bracknell lead 2-0.
Bracknell get that puck down deep, which creates a 2-on-1 situation there. There you've got it, Gomes, Ward, and the only guy there is Mark McCoy. That's the one guy against the goalkeeper. Now that's the ideal play when you're on the power play, because you've got the man advantage. Once he gets it there, he just gets that wraparound shot to the goal. But it's a commitment by Jamie Pegg that creates the 2-on-1 there. And of course, Wayne Cowley goes down, and once that happens, you're like a beached whale. You're not going to get around to that open part of the net.
Well, certainly Tom Gomes, that power play goal, his fourth power play goal of the season, and now joins him as level at the top of the power play goal scorers in the Super League, and Jim Fierchuk will be pleased with that.
Well, he's got a bit of breath back in his sails, Jimmy Fierchuk. That's a big goal for the Bracknell Bees.
Well, I think we've got a misconduct penalty coming here, because words were said to Andy Carson down below us.
We also have a penalty against Newcastle Cobras number 13.
Well, as Bracknell go 2 goals in front, Angelo Catanaro was overlooking that one, and now they look in command, Angelo.
Yeah, I think Bracknell's really picked up their game here in the second period. They came out really skating hard and taking the play to Newcastle, as was the opposite in the first period, and well, 2 pretty good goals, I guess. There was a great play by Joe Ferraccioli there to tip the puck to Gomes. So it was, they're taking a play to Newcastle, but still a lot of game left, and it's anybody's game still.
Well, down below us, the referee having a few problems, but Jamie Pegg has gone to the penalty box for is a 10-minute misconduct penalty for apparently shooting the puck away. So it's still 5-on-5. It's a personal penalty on Mr. Pegg, and the action is away, but Bracknell will be delighted with that power play goal. Tom Gomes, his second goal of the match. This is magic for Newcastle. He will need some magic surely. This is Paul Dixon, who was off when that goal was scored on the penalty. Bracknell away again. Dale Junkin. Support from Burke on the far side. Gets Cowley going, but Cowley somehow hauls the puck in when it matters.
We always speak about a defenseman going forwards. Angelo Cantanaro's partner up in the air. Scott Young does it a lot. Paul Dixon does it on this occasion, but nobody comes back to help him out or take his position, so it becomes a 3-on-1. Dale Junkin runs out of room there. He could have made a play a little bit earlier, and had he done so, it would have been very, very dangerous and certainly a goal-scoring opportunity. A lot of Newcastle forwards doing their best to get back there, but if a defenseman goes forward, someone's got to go back and take his place.
Well, things going very much the way of the Bracknell Bees at the moment. Newcastle Cobras up against it. Just over halfway through the game, Bracknell leading 2-0. But now this is Newcastle in possession, moving away here through Brett Stewart. Xavier Magic, shot charged down, Magic on the backhand, and a point-blank save, 2 in succession there from Mark Bernard, who's having the inspired game here tonight. Newcastle trying to create something here. Chris Norton, the assistant coach, out on the ice trying to direct operations. Stewart takes a tumble. The break is on here for Brant Pellerin. Support to his right now from Dennis Burke. Across the crease, no support, but it goes in here now, and well, charged down this time by the lively Mark McCoy, the newcomer. Shot from Chris Norton. Bounces off the plexiglass. Bracknell regain possession. Killies into the neutral zone. Newcastle 24 here is Mark McCoy, the newcomer. Ross Lambert picks it up on this side. Roy Mitchell, turning captain for Newcastle, dumps the puck into the zone. The Scala picks up the loose puck. Some rush stuff starting now. This is Johnston for Bracknell Bees. Has no support, because support he did have from Ward, as Ward took a tumble coming over the blue line. Held up into the corner. DeCoste lends his support as the puck eventually comes loose. This is Johnston. Knocked around the boards. Ross Lambert in possession. Ross Lambert now wearing the number 9 here for Newcastle Cobras, the number that used to be worn, of course, by their ex-coach. But it's into the net, just flipped up there. Bracknell have got a third. That one, I think, went in. Jeff Johnston got the touch of that on the backhand.
Well, I think the Bracknell Bees did such a super job here with a puck deep in the zone and keeping the puck deep. Up until this point, though, the Newcastle Cobras were outnumbered on the puck. It pops loose. Cowley makes the initial save. No one there to pick that rebound up but a Bracknell Bee, and of course it goes over Cowley, who's down on the play. He's committed himself on the rebound, and Bracknell keep their concentration. And Johnson gets that goal. Huge goal for the Bracknell Bees.
Well, Jeff Johnston's second league goal of the season. Bracknell Bees in front by 3 goals to 0. And it's going better, or getting better and better for them. Newcastle have got to build something out of this. They've got to get something out of this. Chris Norton is their assistant coach in possession now. Norton misses that one. Eventually feeds it into the neutral zone where Randy Smith misses it as well. Rob Stewart is number 16 for Bracknell, knocking it around the boards. Chris Brandt can't clear the danger. Brandt does at the second attempt. Now feeds Butchis. 2-on-1 situation here, and Butchis could get the shot away. Cowley down to save that, and kills it stone dead under his body.
Sometimes when you get some very strong offensive players playing together, like you got Butchis, Chris Brandt, and Joe Ferriccioli, they overwork the puck a little bit. And I think that Ferriccioli could have shot that puck there, and of course Butchis was driving to the net. He would have been the man that could have gained the rebound. Nonetheless, they did get the shot on goal.
Well, look at the shots record there. Newcastle 24, Bracknell 17, yet Bracknell leads 3-0.
But I think the momentum of this game has changed, Tony, certainly in these latter stages, where you can see that the pressure and the heat's being turned up a little bit on Wayne Cowley by the Bracknell Bees.
Still the puck is in that Newcastle zone. Held up against the boards, and that'll produce a face-off in the circle to Wayne Cowley's left. Well, just under 5 minutes remaining on this second period. Newcastle, well, they're going to have a mountain to climb in the final period.
Brian Pellerin, Bracknell Bees, certainly comes over to the UK with some strong International Hockey League experience in North America, and that's a very competitive league.
Well, Brian Pellerin, of course, the leading penalty taker in the league for Bracknell this season. 65 penalty minutes before tonight's game.
I guess it's fair to say he's not scared to mix it up.
Malvena creating opportunity. This is Xavier Magic, the newcomer. second newcomer for, or three newcomers in the Newcastle lineup with McCoy, Magic and Mulvenna. Mulvenna is helping out. Bracknell's defence is tight tonight. They hold it up against the boards. Matt Cote. But well, the Bracknell fans have made the long journey north here, some 300 odd miles, and they're enjoying it. Not surprised she's got a smile on her face with a 3-0 lead.
Just goes to show you, though, that we're really a family sport in terms of ice hockey, and everybody comes to watch it and they enjoy themselves when they're here.
Well, that was a shot in from Mitchell, and Bernard hardly saw that, and eventually it went away off his right-hand post. But Newcastle now pushing forward. There's a penalty called. The goalie's gone off to our right, and this will be a power play the way of Newcastle. Cowley shot to the bench with a man advantage being created for Newcastle, but they couldn't capitalise.
Well, I think it's holding the stick in front of the net there. Todd Kelman, the new defenseman with the Bracknell Bees, former St. Louis draft pick, and right in front of that net there. And of course, those defensemen like that move because they grab that forward stick, and of course that sort of disables them in terms of getting that shot away in front of the net. But Andy Carson right on the spot to pick the hold on the stick up.
Well, a chance for Newcastle on the power play. The possibility, I must say, there we were, that close chance off that post in the end.
Well, there's Kelman. He just managed to get Magic's stick just under his arm there, prevent him from moving forward. It's a little trick. If you get caught on it, you go for 2 minutes. If not, it's a great play, especially deep in your own defensive territory.
Well, puck knocked up the ice by Bracknell. No icing call, of course. There's the Newcastle power play performance. I can tell you it's the worst in the Super League. There's 4 successes in 46 so far. Just under 4 minutes remaining on the period. And Newcastle could do with a goal on this power play to go into the dressing room. Chance for a team talk.
There's Roy Mitchell joining the Newcastle Cobras this season. Played in the American Hockey League last year, where he was an all-star in that league. And, you know, this guy, anytime you're an all-star in the American Hockey League, which is one of the major professional leagues in North America, you know that you're a good player and you're doing a job at what you're supposed to be.
Here is Roy Mitchell with the puck now. Trying to get his team moving forward. This is Xavier Magic. Dumps the puck into the corner. The chase is on the far side. Mulvenna gains possession. Eventually falls loose here. Randy Smith. Mitchell with the shot. Almost a deflection from Mulvenna on the edge of the crease. Mitchell will try again. Randy Smith is going to create the opportunity. Chance here. Shot goes in, and Bernard, well, he palms that over the bar that time. Still Newcastle press. The drums are beating. Mitchell with a shot just wide. Well, Newcastle, without scoring a goal, have managed to put 26 shots on target so far, above their average this season, and that's probably the sign of their problems, not scoring enough goals.
Although they're getting the shots away, Tony, I think the concern is, though, is are they going to be quality shots, and are they shots from funny angles and so on and so forth? Bracknell keeping that box of theirs on the penalty kill very, very compact, not enabling the Newcastle Cobras to get those quality shots away. They're from funny angles, makes it very difficult to get the proper shot on the goalkeeper.
Well, got a little bit of blood on the ice, which means the
bit of a high stick there. I'm not sure. I think is that Glenn Mulvenna that got that high stick. Looks like it's a bit accidental.
Well, it's Wade Butchis, I think, there with the high stick, it looks like, or was it Crawford?
It might have been Wayne Crawford there. Mulvenna on the bench. Oh yeah, he's got a nasty cut right in the bridge of his nose.
Well, attention there, of course, and a little bit of a problem here, and the referee has to sort that out in some way because it's clearly caused by a stick. We just find out that there's going to be a penalty called, I think, for drawing blood here at the moment. Well, Angelo Catalano is up on high. Angelo, a controversial incident. What did you think of that?
Well, like I said, I don't think it was intentional, but the rule calls that if you get cut with a stick, whether it's intentional or not, it should be a penalty. I don't know what Andy Carson's going to call there, but it should be a penalty. Well, here it is on the replay right now. It's tough to see what happens there. It's pretty tough. I don't know whose stick it is. Yeah, there it goes. I think you saw it right there was Bush's stick that hits him up in just above the nose. So again, it's not intentional, but nonetheless, probably will be a call on that.
Well, because of the blood on the play, I mean, there certainly will be penalty calls, but it looked like it was Wayne Crawford from what I saw there. His stick was high up in the air. I know he didn't want to do it, but nonetheless.
Well, the referee has called it on Wade Butchis. Wade Butchis serves a 2+2 for accidental high sticks and, of course, drawing blood there. And, well, that will give Newcastle a 2-man advantage at the moment because already one man is in the box. And Newcastle, if ever they're going to have a chance to get a goal, it comes now.
Well, Wade Butchis going into the box there on the call. Again, the play happening as a result in the fact that blood happening there. Because of the cut taking place, that's when the penalty has to be called.
Well, the action is back with Newcastle with the 5-on-3 situation here, which means that if they're not going to score now, they never will. This is Mitchell. Magic will chase it around. This is Xavier Magic in possession. Chance here for Stewart, Brett Stewart. Good defensive work by McCosh, who could get the break here. McCosh looking for the trip and did no call there, but still McCosh manages to dump it into the corner. Mitchell in possession will get Newcastle going.
Very gutsy play there by Stewart. He's the last man. He's got to make sure that he keeps the puck in his zone. Of course, it was taken by McCosh. Well, watch Bracknell here. They'll set up what we call a triangle, Tony, on the penalty kill. And watch that triangle rotate depending on where the puck is.
This is Brett Stewart in possession with the 2-man advantage. Kelman is back now, so Newcastle reduced to the 1-man advantage. We understand from the bench that Glenn Mulvenna will need a couple of stitches, but he will wait till the end of the period. This is Chris Norton in possession. Almost takes a deflection off the skates there of Matt Cote into the net. But still Newcastle on the power play. Bracknell lead 3-0. Remember, on the 2+2, there's still plenty of time to go on this man advantage. Newcastle keeping the puck in, but Bracknell clearing it out there. Newcastle will need to get organised here with Wade Butchis having a 2+2 in the box. A bit of time to get organised. This is Lascala. The trailer is Chris Norton. Norton's going for the shot. Almost takes a deflection. Whacked away by the stick of Rob Stewart. Jeff Johnston holds it up against the boards. 20 for Newcastle is Randy Smith kicking it around with his skates. Brett Stewart moves in. And now Bracknell still organised in defence, cleared away this time by Greg Burke, number 23. Wayne Cowley behind his own net with the puck. Put under some pressure by Joe Ferraccioli. Newcastle desperate to try and produce a goal, but here Ferraccioli eases it out here, and Bracknell looking calm and cool on this. 12 for Newcastle is Anthony Johnson. Ferraccioli working hard on the back check. This is Brett Stewart. Brett Stewart again. Clock counting down in the final seconds of the period. This is Johnson again. There goes the hooter and the whistles, and the second period ends with Bracknell firmly in command. It was 0-0 at the start of the period. Tom Gomes put them in front. Gomes with his second goal of the game. This one on the power play made it 2-0. Jeff Johnston made it 3-0, and Bracknell look firmly in control. It's Newcastle 0, Bracknell 3.
Coming up on Christmas Day on Sky Sports 1, great goals and bloopers, the best goals and strangest moments of 1997 from all walks of football. That's Christmas Day, 12:30 on Sky Sports 1. Right now, though, we're live and exclusive with ice hockey action. We're up in the northeast, the Newcastle Cobras taking on the Bracknell Bees on Sky Sports 2. And the second period is where all the goals have come from. 3-0 it is to the Bracknell Bees at the moment. But if you look there, shots on goal, the Newcastle Cobras really are out shooting the Bracknell Bees at the moment. It seems as though the Bracknell Bees got that one goal and then they were irrepressible in that second period. Well, Nick Rothwell's talking to the Cobras coach Dale Lambert. What's he got to say about that first and second periods?
Dale, you guys are out shooting these guys 27-17.
Well, it's so far it's been the story of our season. We're getting a lot of good chances, but we can't seem to buy a goal. You know, we just have to keep going in the third period, and hopefully on this power play, if we can get one early, you never know. But we definitely need to score to you know, get the game going for us.
You've just taken over the head coaching roles, and you're in a rebuilding process. You got a lot of scorers on this team. What is it going to take to get the puck in the net?
Well, I think it's just going to take one. You know, our guys aren't confident right now. The puck's not going in the net for us, and sometimes things like that happen. We just have to bear down on our chances, and you know, hopefully I'm sure that once we get a goal, that we'll get a lot of goals, but we have to just start scoring.
Now you'll be on the PP for another minute going into the third. Quick goal, you're right back in it?
Absolutely. You know, I think for the most part, we've outplayed them tonight, and you know, it's the old story. We haven't scored, but if we can get one quick, it'll give the boys some confidence and give everybody a lift, and there's a whole 20 minutes still to play, and it's certainly not over.
Thanks a lot, Dale.
Okay, thank you.
Dale Lambert, the Newcastle Cobras coach, talking to Nick Rothwell there. Angelo Catanaro, you said after the first period, scoring's contagious. And of course, that was the case there for the Bracknell Bees. Once they got that first goal, they seemed then to really pile the pressure on.
I think sort of broke the back of the camel, we'll say, but they got the first one, and they were putting pressure pretty much for the first half of the second period, so it was only inevitable that something was going to go in.
Let's have a look at the action that took them to 3-0 after that second period. Gomes with the first goal here.
Yeah, there was a turnover here in the offensive zone, and it was a nice pass. I think it was Ward, and Gomes just tipped it in. Great tip to put it past Cowley. So again, they capitalized on a turnover. It was quick, went to the net. Again, we're talking about driving to the net. That's what he did, and good goal.
Gomes having a good game, of course, because it was Gomes who got the second for Bracknell.
Again, this is on the power play, and there's a really nifty play by Joe Ferraccioli to make that pass to Gomes, who was below by the net. And again, he had a lot of time to come out and put it by Wayne there. Again, there's the tip, perfect, right down to the bottom of the crease there. Comes around. Wayne Cowley's got no chance there to do anything. So,
do you think Cowley was let down there by his defenseman?
Well, I don't know. It's a power play situation. They're killing a penalty, so you know, again, you have to give up something on a power play. You'd like to give it up high, not low. It was just a good play by Bracknell. They have a pretty good power play, and they showed it there.
Well, 2-0, it looks pretty strong, and then of course they got the third goal not long after that. Johnston getting that one for the
Again,
Bees.
this is a 2-on-2 battle in the corner here, and they're fighting for the puck. I think Johnston just wins the battle. He got the inside step on Mitchell, I believe, and he came in front. He got 2 whacks at it. Again, you know, the goalie's not too much at fault there at all.
Dale Lambert said there to Nick Rothwell that one goal quickly when they come back and they're still on the power play and they're right back in it. Would you agree with that, or do you think Bracknell are looking too strong at the moment?
No, I think he's got a point there. I mean, they're on the power play, but they have to capitalize, I think, early. If they do that, then, you know, it's still 20 minutes. Hockey's a fast game, and anything's possible. Bracknell is looking pretty good, though. I think they're going to be pretty tough to score against. But if that first one comes through, then it's anybody's game again.
Well, that shots on target statistics quite showing, isn't it? Really quite telling the fact that they have had 10 or 15 more shots on goal than Bracknell, and they're still behind. What can Dale Lambert change?
Well, again, you can't teach anybody to score a goal. That happens. I think Newcastle does have some scorers out there. Again, whether it's luck or it's just a matter of getting the first one in. You know, everything's contagious. Winning's contagious. Positive attitude's contagious. You know, I don't know what's going on there in the dressing room, but I think the guys are saying, hey, let's get one, and then after that, you know, it's anybody's game.
There's a lot of contagious stuff going around here. It's a dangerous place to work. Well, at the moment, the Newcastle Cobras have got it all to do against the Bracknell Bees going into the third period. Right now, let's have a look a little bit closer at one of the Newcastle players in breaking the ice. This time, it's the turn of Anthony Johnson.
I first started playing when I was about 7 or 8 years old. My dad played and my two brothers also played, so I was virtually skating before I could walk. I think the best aspect of my game is probably my work ethic, and never say die attitude. My favourite ever player apart from myself is probably myself. When I was younger, I started playing for the Wasps when I was 14. I first got into the first team, when the level wasn't quite so high as what it is now. I played with my brother Stephen and also Ian Cooper, who was with Cardiff Devils. We played on what was called the kid line because we were so young. I played football when I was younger. I was on Southampton schoolboy forms, and then had a little short spell at Barnsley after that, but unfortunately it wasn't good enough and got into this game. My newly born daughter, Megan, takes up a lot of my time at the moment, but apart from that, I like to play a bit of golf when the weather's fine, and also like to play a lot of squash. If I won the lottery, I'd probably keep on playing ice hockey as long as I could. If I want to improve British ice hockey, I think we have to look at getting the kids more involved in the junior development, so as we don't have so many imports in the league, and we're able to ice strong British players.
Local lad Anthony Johnson there talking, one of the Newcastle Cobras players here tonight who have got a lot to do in the third period because the Newcastle Cobras are down by 3 Bracknell goals to 0. Well, a little earlier on we told you about our festive competition. Here's another chance to see what you've got to do if you want to win a Wayne Gretzky game and also a console to play the game on. All you have to do is answer this question. Who scored the winning goal for Ayr in the Benson Hedges Cup final earlier this month at the Sheffield Arena? Was it A, Jeff Hode, B, Jamie Steer, or C, Scott Young? That's Jeff Hode, Jamie Steer, or Scott Young. Call the Ice Hockey Live competition line with your answer on 0891665585. That's 0891665585. Calls costing no more than 25 pence. But don't forget to ask the person who pays the bill if you can make the call. Closing date midnight, Monday the 22nd of December. We'll announce the winners at our live game, Bracknell against Manchester, on Tuesday the 23rd of December. Well, if you fancy going to a game over the weekend and coming up in the next week, this is what's on. Super League action on Tuesday sees the Bees against the Manchester Storm, as I just mentioned. That's our live game. The Cobras are in action again against the Nottingham Panthers. That'll be a tough one for them, especially if they go down here. On Tuesday, Express Cup action sees Basingstoke against the Cardiff Devils. And on Boxing Day, the Steelers better down that turkey quickly because they're going to be in action against the Panthers in the Express Cup. Well, the Bracknell Bees fans are happy here because they've travelled a long way up the A1 and M1 to get here tonight, but they've seen their side put on a good performance in the first 2 periods. 3-0 they're leading as we're going into the third period. 2 goals from Gomes, and this one from Johnston made it 3-0 to the Bracknell Bees. Join us after the break. Coming up on Christmas Day on Sky Sports 1, Ruzetsky at the US Open. Remember that, he had a marvellous competition there. Join Andrew Castle and Jeremy Williams as they relive Greg Ruzetsky's achievements of 1997. Christmas Day, 3:30 on Sky Sports 1. Right now, though, it's live ice hockey. The Newcastle Cobras against the Bracknell Bees. And after 2 periods, the Cobras are down. 3 goals from the Bracknell Bees in the second period, making it all to do the Newcastle Cobras in this third period. Well, we're live and exclusive from the Newcastle Arena. We're just about ready to start the third period, so let's go to our commentary team. Bob Carroll, but first, here's Tony Millard.
And Newcastle start the final period on the power play with 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining on the penalty to Butchis for that high sticking, and that could be the telling point. We're waiting for the man to come to the box. We're waiting for the officials. And eventually we'll be underway. There's Andy Carson, who's still got a little problem with his wrist, of course, where he got hit by the puck. And that's what's taken the time, probably, for that to be repaired.
I'm sure he sees some medical attention there between periods. Tony got a proper bandage put on it, perhaps trying to stop it from swelling up ever so much more, but he's going to finish this third period off.
There's Wayne Cowley, the Newcastle goaltender, who's played well but still letting 3 goals here tonight. Waiting to start the period, and that's Mark Bernard, who's having such a fine game for the Bracknell Bees. Referee Andy Carson is ready to get us started. A stitch together or put together Andy Carson. Away we're going to be. This is the final period with Bracknell leading by 3 goals to 0. Newcastle quite a mountain to climb, but Newcastle out on the power play, and there's just over a minute now remaining, and the penalty for Wade Butch is down in front of us. Puck held up against the boards. This is Brett Stewart, number 48 for Newcastle, coming away. Got support to the right here with Ross Lambert. Good interception there by Dennis Burke on the red line. This is Ross Lambert. Lambert knocks it around the boards. Randy Smith is number 20 for Newcastle. Roy Mitchell is back on the blue line, looking to make use of his shot. Good defensive block there by Dennis Burke this time. Greg Burke, rather. Shot goes in, takes a deflection away. And this is Johnson picking up the loose puck, and Bracknell defending well. Bracknell's impressive penalty killing record, best in the league, at the moment by a fair way. This is Xavier Magic for Newcastle. Magic is going to knock it into the corner. The chase will be on this side for Justin Duberman. Magic collects the loose puck. Power play clock counting down below us. Onto the ice comes Wade Butchis. And once again, Bracknell have killed off yet another penalty. Well, it's impressive the Bracknell position there, and look at those short-handed goals. They've scored more than they conceded on the power play, and that is something a bit special.
That's a very unique statistic. I don't know if I've ever seen that one before. Jimmy Bierchuk certainly got his team moving in the right direction, you know. You spoke about that between periods, Tony, and the fact that they look composed out there. They know what they're doing. Everybody's working for one another, and that's the signs of a good team. No one's a star out there, but everybody just does their job.
Newcastle pushing forward. This is Sean Johnson. Frank Lascala is 27. Justin Duberman on the puck now. Newcastle desperately trying to pull this back. But Bracknell again. This is Joe Ferraccioli. Butchis dumps it into the corner. Chris Branch is going to chase it, number 25. Coming forward is Matt Cote using his skates. Butchis keeps it in. In front of his own net there, Sean Johnson takes control. Dumped into the neutral zone by Mark McCoy, the newcomer. McCosh on the backhand, can't control it. Now Newcastle can break with Roy Mitchell, but he can't get the puck on the end of his stick, but does at the second attempt. Paul Dixon is the Newcastle captain. Chance, they got 2-on-1 chance for Randy Smith, and great block there, defensive block there from Matt Cote. Weaver with the shot. This is Rob Trumbley for Newcastle, 36 in possession. Puck knocked down. Weaver tries to ease it round the boards. Gets support here from Randy Smith. Smith is looking for the wraparound. In goes the shot, and again Bracknell cleared. There's a break on here for Bracknell. Pellerin is held off. Chance for DeCoste. Dale Junkin is number 91. Can't be a stop in play this period. This is Hellman knocking the puck around the boards. Puck held up against the boards, but still coming loose now. Bracknell keep it in. This is DeCoste. DeCoste looks for support and doesn't get it, but Newcastle defend in depth. Now the shot goes in here from the edge, and Cowley gets down to that. At last a stoppage. Twice they've changed on the fly. And Jim Pegg below us has finished his misconduct penalty. Newcastle now have a full squad available.
The shot from the point from Burke, but this whole play is created by Bracknell cycling deep in the zone. They kept the puck deep in and around the boards area, supported one another so very well. We spoke about that last week, and it's a very traditional play, especially this year in the Super League. Enables you to see what's going on, especially when you're in the offensive zone. It also shrugs people back and gives the point men an opportunity to shoot the puck.
Burke shot taking a deflection away there. Trying it in from the blue line as Bracknell keep control. Colin Ward battling for it. Comes out here and goes. Chance here again, and Cowley gets his right pad to that as the backhand shot goes in from Johnston. Bernard has been under no pressure so far this period, despite Newcastle having the early power play. This is Glenn Mulvenner. Stitched up, raring to go again. Mulvenner again in the neutral zone. Magic controls the puck well. Chance here on the break for Mulvenner. Mulvenner can't control it when it matters, and again the cover goes in from Bracknell. And they move away here. This is Ferraccioli. Two-line pass called by the linesman Gordon Pirrie, and that will produce the face-off just inside the Bracknell defensive zone.
Well, a healthy Joe Ferraccioli is a happy Bracknell B lineup. There's the two-line pass to Big Joe going down the wing there. But last year he was injured, and this year he's managed to get a lot of games in. Good playmaker, but it's his experience out there that's most beneficial, and it's something that I know that Coach Jim Fierchuk takes advantage of that.
Bernard helps to control things behind his own net. Flicked backwards by Rob Stewart, his captain. Stewart gets it into the neutral zone. The chase is on for Paul Dixon, the Newcastle captain. Chris Brandt gets there first for Bracknell. Ross Lambert helps to clear the danger for Newcastle. But still Bracknell keep it in, and Cowley had to be alert to watch that go by his left post. This is Chris Brandt. Frank Lascala is 27. Justin Duberman. Can't make any headway there, Newcastle, at the moment. Bracknell looking organised and composed. This is Chris Brandt. Bracknell leading 3-0. Rob Stewart is their captain. Stewart with a shot, takes a deflection. Now Newcastle, can they conjure something up out of this? This is Duberman, can't control the puck, does at the second attempt. Switches play here with Mitchell in support. Rob Stewart gets back to Rob Ross Lambert. Still keeps it in play. This is Brian Pellerin for the Bracknell Bees. This is Pellerin. Dummies the shot, slips over just when it counts. Hardly any stoppage in this period so far. Burke flips it sideways in the neutral zone. And again, the Newcastle pass finds nobody in particular, but Trumley is going to chase it into the corner. This is Mitchell. Weaver goes to Smith with the shot just wide. And the net comes adrift for the first time tonight. And really Newcastle got to produce something special, Bob, now.
Well, Rob Tremblay coming off the bench there, and I'll tell you, he delivered a devastating check in the corner. He's trying to inspire his team to try and get something going in the zone there. McCosh comes back on him as a result of that hit as well. And of course, the net going off its supports. Shane McCosh of the Bracknell Bees, what a job he's done back on a defense. He logs a lot of ice time. I know he's a favorite of Jim Fierchuk, but he's good offensively as well. One of these defensemen, Tony, that's a great skater. And anytime you're a great skater as a defenseman, you cover a lot of ice out there.
Well, McCosh has covered most of the ice here in this ring tonight. This is Newcastle's Jamie Pegg, who's had a rest, of course, with that misconduct penalty. Chasing back for Bracknell 23 is Greg Burke. Pegg is being put under pressure. Chance here for Norton with a shot. Chris Norton! Chris Norton breaks the deadlock from Newcastle's point of view. His third league goal of the season. Are Newcastle back in it? It's Newcastle 1, Bracknell 3.
I call Randy Smith the quarterback of the offense because he's always got his head up. Bracknell on the run around here because Chris Norton's allowed to come in from his point position transition into the top slot area and pummel that home as Mark Bernard's caught back in his net. He's got no time, and of course, no Bracknell Bees forwards out there to try and help and prevent Chris Norton from coming into the slot area. Big goal for Newcastle to get themselves back into it.
Suddenly the Newcastle fans come to life. Can their team do so as well? Their assistant coach Chris Norton showing the way. That is Norton. This is Jonathan Weaver. Weaver dumps it into the neutral zone. Costy in possession for Bracknell. Malvena tries to force it back into that zone. Newcastle win it back under pressure here. Costy gets it back for Bracknell, but now here comes Newcastle coming forward. Puck dumped forward here. Bracknell are going to change on the fly. Bernard kills it stone dead to produce a face-off in his own zone.
Well, that's a huge goal by these Newcastle Cobras, and I'll tell you why. That was 5 periods and more of ice hockey where they haven't scored, and that starts affecting your confidence a little bit. They're got on the scoreboard now, and they've got a bit of re-inspiration, so let's see if we can grow on that a little bit and get themselves back in this game. They've got a home game stand coming up here, Tony, and they've got to try and build on this now, because this is the way that they're going to get out of that slump that they're in at the moment.
Well, 2 of their newcomers on the ice at the moment, Glenn Malvena and Xavier Magic. Magic to take the face-off against Joe Ferraccioli of Bracknell. This is Glenn Malvena with Sheffield last season, of course. Chance for Paul Dixon. Chris Brandt engineers the break. This is Joe Ferraccioli with the shot. Good dummy. Good save by Cowley at the second attempt. Killed his own rebound.
Huge save by Wayne Cowley. Chris Brandt running out of room there. Very bad angle to get the second shot away. Again, though, Newcastle getting caught here with just 1 defenseman back, that being Roy Mitchell. 4-on-1 actually in that scenario. Bracknell not really taking advantage of what the play could have resulted in. There's the shot. And the rebound coming through, but once again, Cowley eyeing the puck very well and keeping his positioning to make that save.
Chris Brandt it is in possession for Bracknell Bees. Chance here for Ferraccioli, sends Cowley the wrong way, but Cowley keeps the angle tight and Ferraccioli runs out of space. Magic knocks it around the boards. This is Chris Brandt again for Bracknell. Brandt switches play here. Ferraccioli. Brandt can't keep it in this time. This is Glenn Malvena. Penalty call here on Bracknell will give Newcastle a power play. I think the call is on Joe Ferraccioli, but it won't be called, of course, until Newcastle lose possession. Joe Ferraccioli will be the man going to the penalty box as soon as Newcastle lose possession or score a goal, dare I say. This is Stewart creating the opportunity. Now Dale Junkie gets possession for Bracknell, and that'll mean Joe Ferraccioli goes to the box and Newcastle move on to the power play.
Joe Ferraccioli there picking up a slashing call on that play. That's uncharacteristic of him, actually. You don't see him in a penalty box very often. Get a look at it. Loose puck in the zone.
47, Joe Ferraccioli, 2 minutes for slashing.
Ferraccioli not happy there. There's the slash, a bit of a retaliation, but more than anything, I think, looking for a loose puck.
Power play number 5 for Newcastle, yet to take advantage of 1. Can they get back in the game here? Just over 11 minutes of the match remaining. Bracknell leads 3-1, but Newcastle on the power play. This is Jamie Pegg. And Pegg get the shot away. He does. Knocked away by the stick hand of Bernard, who watches the rebound go wide. Again, Pegg. Pegg looking for the deflection. Bracknell come away with Pellerin. Pellerin knocks it beyond the neutral zone. There'll be no icing call, of course, as Norton gets possession. This is Chris Norton. Norton being hassled and harried there by Dale Junkin. Bird breaks it up, and now we've got a 3-on-2. Lambert is the trailer. Lambert's going to go for the slap shot surely. No, he creates space on the far side for Norton. Bracknell again. Calm, cool and collected, clear the danger out of their defensive zone. Knocked around the boards. Ross Lambert will chase it on this side. Picked up for Newcastle here by Frank Lascala. Todd Kelman defending well for Bracknell. Lascala is going to have to chase it this side. Battle is won by Pegg. This is Ross Lambert on the power play for Newcastle. Norton's again going to go for the shot. Good save by Bernard. Narrow angle. Shot goes in this time from Lambert. Charge down 2. Bracknell pleased to whack that clear. Defending tight in front of their goalie.
Newcastle moving the puck around very well once they get it into the offensive zone. But again, instead of what was working maybe most successfully for them, that's driving the puck to the net and hoping to get a rebound, is maybe not happening as much as what they wanted to do. Moving it around maybe a bit too much.
This is Randy Smith, number 20. Support behind him from Stewart. Dumped into the corner. Xavier Magic in possession. Power play clock counting down top right-hand corner of your screen as Ferraccioli looks to come back on the ice. Bracknell are back to strength, and now Ferraccioli's on the break, and a chance as he comes straight off the penalty bench for Joe Ferraccioli, and a brilliant save by Cowley.
Well, Joe Ferraccioli comes out of the penalty box there. Newcastle caught up with trying to score a goal in the offensive zone. And some good heads-up play to let this man go in alone, one-on-one on Wayne Cowley. The heads-up, he drops his shoulder, makes the fake. But I'll tell you what, Mr. Cowley just stacks it up. He got a stick out there, which didn't allow Joe Ferraccioli to move the one direction that he wanted to go. There's the stick that comes out. Of course, he cups the puck there and just hangs on to make a superb save.
And keep Newcastle still in the game, but only just. Just over 9 minutes remaining. Newcastle 1, Bracknell 3. This is Magic trying to spread play here. Bob Stewart for Bracknell knocks it into the corner on the backhand. Ferraccioli chases it in, shadowed by the Newcastle captain Paul Dixon. This is Dixon behind his own net. Broken stick down in front of us. Jamie Pegg in possession. Again, this is Paul Dixon, the Newcastle captain, with puck control from Stewart. Magic with a shot. Dixon with the chance, and a brilliant save this end by Mark Bernard. Ferraccioli now coming away. He's got support as Bracknell break here. Grant with a shot. Defensive rebound cleared by Xavier Magic. Magic put under pressure by the Crossley. Pegg tries to get Newcastle going again. This is Dixon. Plants it into the neutral zone. Jonathan Weaver, number 14 for Newcastle, trying to get them going. Good forechecking by Bracknell Bees. The cover here from 23, and Seth Greg Burke. 24 for Newcastle Cobras there, Mark McCoy, the newcomer, or one of 3 newcomers in the side here tonight. Tom Gomes with 2 goals to his name in possession for Bracknell. Kelman flicks it into the neutral zone. This is Trumbley. Chance for Randy Smith, and just off target. Maybe he should have hit the target there. Soon Newcastle trying, can they get back in the game? Good work here, and just off target again. And 2 chances coming Randy Smith's way in a matter of 15 seconds. Tom Gomes looking for his hat-trick perhaps. Hardly a stoppage in this period, and just over 7 minutes remaining. This is Dale Junkin. Rebound cleared defensively into the neutral zone. Bracknell will chase back. The person's a Shane McCosh. McCosh has Cote in front of him. Cote can't control the puck, and McCosh has to control it again. Hectic stuff here in this final period as Newcastle try to get back in the game. This is Frank Lascala. Lascala taken into the corner. Puck held up. Eventually comes clear. This is Dale Junkin for Bracknell. We'll get it out into the neutral zone. Well, Angela Catanaro is upstairs with having overlooking this, Angelo, is there any way back now for Newcastle for this 3-1 down?
Yeah, I think so. They're starting to apply some pressure here in the later stages. I think Randy Smith had a couple of good chances, and again, you know, they were a little tentative at the beginning of the period, I thought. They had the opportunity with the power play, and they didn't capitalize. And then Norton's goal, I think, is giving them a little bit of life. Nonetheless, it's going to be tough. Bracknell's playing pretty good D. Again, you know, just go to the net, shoot the puck, and then see what happens. I think that's what they got to do right now, is instead of making fancy plays, just trying to throw everything at Bernard and going for the rebounds.
Well, there's an important point made there by Angelo in the fact that I don't think Newcastle can be fancy. They've got to do it the hard way, and that's sure that they drive to the net and pick those pucks up.
Newcastle in possession with Justin Duberman. Ross Lambert has to get back to help out his defence. Jamie Pegg moves forward. This is Duberman. Duberman's shot well held by Mark Bernard.
Well, Justin Duberman showing some of his proneness. Maybe a bit of a slow start to the year, but you can see that he's always dangerous offensively if he gets that puck. Great shot there, wide. That guy's on his off wing. He's shooting off the back part there. He's trying to find the wide side of the net. He's a bit frustrated at the moment, but this guy can score goals. He's going to come around.
Well, of course, he started with a bang for Newcastle last year. I think he got 2 goals in each of his first 2 games. And he could do with a couple of those tonight. This is Chris Brandt for Bracknell. Knocks it into the neutral zone. Jamie Pegg working hard for Newcastle. Gun Malvana connects the puck off the linesman's skates. Bracknell hear it again now, and here's Chris Brandt getting forward. Powerful shot kicked away by Cowley. Chris Norton, the Newcastle goal scorer, tries to get his team going. Assistant coach, of course, as well. This is Crawford. Hits the puck against his own man's skates. Rob Stewart is the Bracknell captain, number 16, dumping it into the corner. It's Bracknell change on the fly. Newcastle again come forward into the neutral zone. Magic takes a trip. Eventually it's cleared up there by Burke. The officials wave it on, and Newcastle come forward again. Coy getting forward for Newcastle.
Some we haven't certainly seen a lot of tonight, Tony, and that is this Newcastle side have a tendency to carry the puck into the zone a lot, rather than do a dump and chase sort of effect, which some of the other Super League teams gain success by. But most certainly, the whole key is gaining possession in the offensive zone.
This is Trumbly trying to create a chance into the side netting. Newcastle fans cheer. Well, we've got a chance to see the action so far. 4 goals we've seen. The first of them came with Tom Gomes in the second period, putting Bracknell Bees in front. It was Gomes again who scored, this time on the power play, to make it 2-0. Third goal of the period came from Jeff Johnston. 3-0 going into the final period. Chris Norton pulled one back for Newcastle. Bullet-like shot, 20 feet out. It remains at that. 3-1 to Bracknell. Randy Smith. Trumbly on the break. Trumbly with a shot. Again hits the side netting. Matt Cote for Bracknell slaps it clear. Eventually clearing the zone. Newcastle again have to build from the neutral zone. This is Roy Mitchell. Randy Smith loses possession. Andy Carson again gets hit by the puck, the referee. He's in the wars tonight. Jonathan Weaver, number 14, homebred player, of course, for Newcastle. Great Britain International. Rob Trumbly, number 36. Bracknell still keeping their heads. This is DeCosti, their newcomer. 2-line pass, offside, in fact, following the puck in. Puck went in after him, just couldn't control it when it mattered.
Jimmy Pierchuk, the Bracknell coach, starting to look a little bit more confident now, but it's never over. He knows that. He's got to make sure that he keeps his players focused, especially the latter stages, because 1 goal by Newcastle, and I'll tell you, that bridge is awful short.
Well, Newcastle are 3-1 down, but they're leading on the shot count, 33-27. And I can tell you they haven't outshot anybody so far in any game this season. Could this be the first? Still Newcastle have to push forward. Time is running out on the Cobras. Ferraccioli in possession for Bracknell. On the backhand, dumps it into the attacking zone. Duberman gets back, loses possession to Brandt. Ferraccioli battles for the puck to Bracknell. But here comes the Newcastle captain, Paul Dixon. Offside would have been called, but Bracknell get position. This is Brandt, Ferraccioli to his left. This is Ferraccioli, taken out by Jamie Pegg. Effective work by Bracknell again on the blue line here, and now chasing it forward is their captain, Rob Stewart. Magic for Newcastle. Jamie Pegg again. This is Chris Norton. Norton's shot kicked away by the goaltender Bernard. Norton looking for his second goal of the game. Shot there, again kicked away, and the rebound too, just off target. Newcastle trying to stage a grandstand finish. Brett Stewart for Newcastle. Support from Mark McCoy, number 24, along the boards. Ward takes him into the boards. Glenn Mulvenna is 25 that wins it back.
2 minutes of the game remaining.
2 minutes remaining on the game. This is Chris Norton. Brett Stewart. Shot charged down, and now we've got a break here for Bracknell. This could really seal the game. Gomes looking for his hat-trick. Brilliant save by Cowley, who also keeps out the rebound. Goal is claimed by Ward, but it was grabbed off the post, I think, by Cowley. I don't think it crossed the line.
Well, Colin Ward arguing there that that puck went in, but Newcastle pressing so hard to try and get a goal back that, of course, defense suffers a little bit. Gomes is allowed to break in. He's got people on him, but here's the one we're looking for. Is that in? Well, Mr. Cowley, I'd have to say that's right on the goal line, boys.
Well, we've had a couple like that tonight. Desperately close.
Yes, sir. Whether or not his glove was behind that goal line when he made that initial stop is going to be an interesting one. Here we go. Oh, we don't quite see that. Unfortunately, nonetheless, that puck is not inside the goal line.
Despite it all, it remains Newcastle Cobras 1, Bracknell Bees 3. A minute and a half remaining. Chance here again. Brilliant save by Cowley under pressure. Newcastle on the break here. This is Jonathan Weaver. Weaver looks for support. Trumbley's with him. Mitchell, that was number 6. This is Randy Smith. Weaver. Goalie has gone off away to our left as Newcastle gamble. They've got 6 out skaters and no goalie. This is Weaver in possession. Newcastle with no goalie. If Bracknell get a break here, it's a certain goal. But they're pushing forward Newcastle. Pegg with the shot. And now a chance on the empty net. The length of the ice, and it's just off target. And that'll produce the icing call.
Icing.
Well, that was a real gamble by Newcastle there and almost paid off.
Well, virtually nothing to lose by Dale Lambert. He knows that they've got to get a goal back. He pulls the goalkeeper, all play being in Bracknell's territory. Desperate effort by Bracknell to hit the empty net, but that's not an easy one either. And of course the icing call, which puts the face-off back deep into Bracknell territory.
Well, 50 seconds remain on the clock. And there's Dale Lambert, the Newcastle coach. He's got to pull something out of the far here, and it's desperate measures.
Well, it's a tall hill to climb, there's no doubt about it, because it's not just one, but it's 2 goals with 50 seconds left. This face-off is going to be very crucial, obviously, only because if Newcastle can get something clean off of it, get that goal that they need, well, that sets the stage, I suppose, for a grand finale finish. But watch the clamps being put on here and how much time is put forward by both center icemen to make sure that their players are in place for this crucial face-off.
But it also, Bob, perhaps gave a breather for the key defenseman for Bracknell Bees.
Well, and from both sides, Tony, very good point, because now both coaches are allowed to put the players that they feel they need in this situation out onto that ice, and of course they're going to be fresh.
A big player there is Chris Brandt, of course, for the Bracknell Bees, and he's always vital in these circumstances. Empty net away to our left. Newcastle gambling all. Mitchell can't get the shot away. Does eventually off target. Wade Butchis tries for the shot in the empty net. Forced in by Chris Norton. This is Randy Smith. Butchis will knock it around the boards. Knocked back by Mitchell. Again, they're going for the empty net goal. Officials wave it on. Less than half a minute to play with Mitchell in possession. Newcastle with 6 out skaters. Chance on the break here and a chance of an empty net goal coming up here, surely. All they got to do is tap it around and into the net it goes, but we've got an offside call here. That goal is disallowed. Linesman Gordon Perry spotted it, and offside is the call, and the empty net goal doesn't count.
Well, Wade Butch is a classic 2-on-1. I guess he's right. I know Wade Butch didn't have... There he's laughing at it. He can't believe the call himself. He had plenty of time out there, but nonetheless, no goal, offside being the call.
Face-off just outside the Newcastle defensive zone. Seconds remaining. Cowley knocks that down, but all is lost surely for Newcastle. Vericcioli, chance here, and a goal! Crawford it was! In the final seconds of the game, Crawford has got goal number 4 for the Bracknell Bees. They are singing in Bracknell tonight.
Well, defensive lapse, and it allows the Bees to move the puck, and it also allows Wayne Crawford to make the transition from defense to offense. And he's a great two-way player, Wayne Crawford. He scored goals in his time, and you know that if you give him an opportunity like that around the net, he's going to capitalize.
Well, Crawford celebrates. 2 seconds remain, and Newcastle have tumbled to a home defeat, but Bracknell Bees will be happy with this scoreline. There goes the final whistle, which has given Bracknell Bees their first away victory in the Super League this season. It was goalless at the end of the first period. We wondered whether we were going to get a double shutout, but then Tom Gomes it was and grabbed 2 goals, the second on the power play for the Bracknell Bees. Jeff Johnston added 1 before the end of the period. Chris Norton came back early in the third with a goal for Newcastle, but almost on the whistle, Johnston it was that got the 4th for the Bracknell Bees. Well worth their victory despite being outshot. It ended here, Newcastle Cobras 4-1, the Bracknell Bees 4. Well, Bob Carroll alongside me, the Bees deserve that for the quality of their goals.
They come in, they did a great job, played some good solid defensive hockey, worked with one another, but certainly capitalized on their chances. And you know, those specialty teams, those are one of the things that we're working for Bracknell again tonight. And as we said, you know, they're potent.
Well, we can now join the winning coach, Jim Fearchuck, with our reporter, Nick Rothwell.
Jim, good road win.
Excellent road win for us. First of the season, and right where we're situated in the league right now, this is a huge win. Obviously, you know, we've got 3 games in 4 days here, and hopefully it's going to get the ball rolling in the right direction. We're off the air tomorrow, and, you know, we need a little bit of momentum, so this is terrific for us.
A team that is going to challenge for this league title has got to win on the road, don't they?
No question. It goes without saying, because games are so tight and the league is so tight, it's really important that you get the job done on the road.
You must be pleased with Mark Bernard. He got outshot quite a bit.
Bernie's here to play out. Like, we've been getting great work out of him probably over the last month and a half, where he's really kind of settled into the groove here and couldn't ask for anything more. You know, he comes to play, he's focused for the entire game, and he wants to win too.
Because you guys were outshot, is that going to cause you any concern?
No, really, we come into a game knowing that we've got to keep things simple. We're not as big an offensive threat as maybe some other teams in the league, so we know that we've got to focus on defense and just wait for our opportunities. We also realize we're going to have some shots on.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
No problem.
Jim Fearchuck, the victorious coach, talking to Nick Rothwell there. 4-1 the final score to the Bracknell Bees. Although they were outshot, you can see that on the match facts there. The Newcastle Cobras, though, will be very disappointed with their performance, because in the first period, it really looked as if they might get something here against the Bracknell Bees. Instead, the Bees have got their first victory on the road so far this season. Angelo Cadenaro, we said early on before the game started that teams like Bracknell are keeping the pressure on you guys, the Panthers and the Manchester Storm, and they showed that, didn't they?
Yeah, they came out pretty strong. I thought Newcastle was going to maybe do a better showing from the start of the game. nonetheless, Bracknell's got a good club. I think, like I said, the league's very strong this year. Would have been nice for us if Newcastle would have pulled one off, gives a little bit of breathing room, but hey, we're right back at it tomorrow night against them.
Is there anything that Dale Lambert can take from that positive and take back to his team and say, yeah, this worked well, this didn't work well?
Well, I think as a coach or a leader in the room, you have to always look at.
They look very downhearted there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But again, this game's done. You have to look to tomorrow. I mean, nothing much they could do about this game, but try and analyze it and see what went wrong, and just try and keep things as positive as possible. I mean, there's always a game to play, and you got to go and try and win it.
Finally, do you think that Bracknell really are serious contenders for this championship?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, it's such a tight league. Anything can happen. They have a legitimate team, and I was talking to Jim Fairchick, their coach, earlier, and I said, they do have some pretty good players. I don't agree with them. I think they do have some pretty good scoring talent. He says they're more of a defensive team, but there's a lot of guys in that team then that can hurt you on any given night.
Thanks very much, Angela. You've been a great guest, and good luck for the rest of your season. Well, the next time that you can see us live and exclusive is Tuesday, day before Christmas Eve. We're live at Bracknell. They're taking on the Manchester Storm, which is looking like now almost a top-of-the-table clash, isn't it, after their performance against the Newcastle Cobras. 7:30 on Sky Sports 2. Right now, though, it's been quite an interesting game. The Bracknell Bees showing they are serious contenders. They beat the Newcastle Cobras by 4-1. Join us next time.
If you were an angel, I would cut off your wings to keep you with me. I would do anything, like broken bottles that slip from drunken hands. I've watched my star falling and shatter on the ground. First you wash your hair, then you wash your hands. Oh yeah, I think I understand.